$13.33 gets it home. 282925 for the S1 Rally GMT.
Moving on now, 283016. Well, this is not my hot pick, but okay, I'll take it.
Megan has gone Italian.
Very, very tough there. 283016. You know what? You can just say every single watch is my hot pick. That's fine. Momo Design watches. You know, it's funny because up until about 6 months ago, we had not been able to air Momo Design on our shows for a really long time. And that was because we had been sold out of our allotment for nearly 2 years. But now we've got them back in stock and they are more popular than ever. Now, Momo Design watches are Italian designed watches, but these watches, at least they're more expensive high-end, and of course a $1,900 watch would be a high-end, feature Swiss-made movements. Inside this is the Swiss-made Ronda 5030D quartz chronograph movement.
This is really a lot of style. Now, Momo is known for their Italian design for automobiles, such as steering wheels, gear shifters, the wheels that the tires go on, their seats, all of that to give you really just an extra special look, to say your Ferrari or your Lamborghini. Here, they've put their hand for design to watches, because let's face it, if you have one of those high-end cars, you need a watch that looks like it'd go equally as fast. Now, take a peek and just tell me, can you see that kind of texturing right there on the dial that almost looks like a satin finish? Then you can see that blue anti-reflective coating on the crystal. Now, it's easy to tell the time with those stylized hands, and simply hitting the pusher at the 2 o'clock position is going to stop our chronograph, which was already started. Let's put that all the way back there. There's our reset. And you can see right there that starts, stops, and resets our chronograph. You have a 3-hand configuration with the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating small seconds right there at the 2 o'clock position, and 2 totalers for our chronograph. Of course, there's your date complication there at the 6 o'clock. You're also going to appreciate all of the design elements, such as the machining that kind of looks a little bit like carbon fiber all the way around. It's the same texture that you're seeing on the strap is also around the bezel. You have stylized pushers that have been knurled or machined, as well as the crown. The watch really does look great. And of course, you can see the Momo Design logo there on the back. All stainless steel, 100 meters of water resistance. And of course, this is an original Momo. It's brand new. It's in the box with all the papers. Yes, that is correct. Off of the $1,900 list price. We don't make that up. Momo sends that to us. We're just giving you the information. We'll tell you what we think it's. We think it's worth $499.99. That's our wow price. But the TV show price is $299.99. And to make it easier, how about 6 stress-free, interest-free payments of only $50? You send us the first $50 on a credit card, we send you the watch the next business day. And you have the next 5 payments are interest-free, which we hope is stress-free. And it's also free shipping. How about that? What do you think, Megan? 283016, the Momo Design Dive Master? Yes, no?
I like it. I always like Momo Design watches because they're different.
Yeah, I do too. I like that Italian design. It just, you can tell they're thinking slightly outside the box. Speaking of thinking outside the box, how about a company so rough and so tough that they've conquered land, sea, air, and
242384. They've conquered space now with the SXC. This is the Space Expedition Corporation. Yesterday we had this watch on our program, all done in PC carbon with a rubber strap. Today we've brought out a different variation, slightly more going on here, but still the same great look. Now, this is a timepiece, and you can even see both on the case back and even etched into the back of your customized leather strap. This is a timepiece that is designed not just for the Space Expedition Corporation, but also, you can see right there, but also with their expertise. So it says here, Luminox for SXC. It's both of their logos there. So yesterday, the PC carbon case and rubber strap variation was legitimately something that the astronauts can wear in outer space because it is so incredibly lightweight. Today, we're looking at the stainless steel and leather variation. What you've got is a Swiss-made Ronda.
And you're watching Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. It's the best 3 hours in watch television. We're so glad you've joined us. We hope you had a wonderful holiday. And we're getting ready to kick off our end of the year clearance. And we want to make sure you have an opportunity. Maybe you didn't get everything you wanted for Christmas. Well, you can make up for that right now because we're going to have so many great values. There's going to be some good stuff for you to make up for any of the stuff you didn't get at Christmas time.
So for the next 3 hours, Wiley and I are going to be presenting to you some of our best sellers that were really popular items all year on World of Watches. And here's the great thing. As Wiley said, this is a perfect time to keep shopping, maybe if you didn't get everything you hoped for underneath your tree yesterday morning. But even better than that, every single item will be on 6 interest-free, stress-free payments. So we are still continuing those holiday deals. Now, this is the last weekend, of course, of 2015, believe it or not. So we want you to make sure to take advantage of these incredible deals. And maybe if you did see something throughout the year and you always meant to pick it up, I know I'm guilty of that sometimes with so many watches that we always present. I always think about a watch and then I'll forget about it and I'll remind myself of it a month later or so. This is the perfect time for you to revisit. It's almost like a highlight reel, if you will, of the entire 2015 year. We'll be able to show you all of our best sellers. And again, everything's on 6 interest-free, stress-free payments. We're going to jump into a preview right now and give you a little sample of what's coming up in our first hour. We don't have any themes. We're just going all over the place for the next 3 hours, tonight and tomorrow. So you'll see lots of different price points, lots of different brands all throughout the show. So let's roll the tape. I know, there's no tape. I don't even know. I'm so old school.
You're old school.
I know. I call email blast newsletters still. Here's the first one coming up. 258-805, the 49mm Invicta Pro Diver. Now, this is an Anadigi. This is really cool because you've got your analog time and then your currently displayed hours will also come out in a digital readout at the lower portion of the dial, just around that 6 o'clock position. And you'll notice here, it's actually the option of having it set in a 12-hour time or a 24-hour clock. I always love this color combination. A two-tone with accents of gold tone on a mostly silver tone watch. Case and bracelet there, mostly silver tone with a little bit of gold tone. But then that rich blue dial and blue bezel. I believe this is a cobalt blue. I love that. It's got such a rich luxury look to me. Here we go with the stress-free payments, my favorite. I'm always going to push you in that direction. $20 gets home an Invicta. You know we are the largest authorized retailer of Invicta watches. We give you the guaranteed best possible prices, and every day this Invicta Pro Diver is $285 on our website. It's $120 tonight and tomorrow. The prices are good through tomorrow night, and we still have our extended holiday return policy. That means you can get your full money-back guarantee if you place your orders tonight, and you've got until January 31st, 258-805.
Coming in right behind that.
I almost made this watch my hot pick.
Why that one?
Well, I'm dressed a little bit sporty today, or at least my version of sporty, and I just like this watch as a cool Swiss-made sporty watch because I see it as a unisex timepiece. Maybe even erring on the side of being somewhat feminine because of the mother-of-pearl dial.
And that, it's very unusual for, a watch to have that in there. At this price point, that's amazing because you look at the price of watches like this selling for the $500, $600, $700 mark. But this 41mm Opus really does hit that mark of being something that has a luxurious feel to it, can be very dressy, also very casual and sporty as well. This is a good-looking watch. $169.99. That is a bargain. Only $28.33. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. In fact, wait until we get a chance to show this to you live. That's one of the ones I actually was holding up too, going, maybe I'm going to use that one.
Kind of cool, right?
That's a nice looking watch.
And this is great because this has a Swiss-made ISA multifunction movement. And what I love about that is you can use the 6 o'clock sub-dial for a secondary time zone.
When you pointed that out, that was just very clever.
Oh, thank you. Every now and then. I even surprise myself. 294-580. Now, coming up right after that, another Swiss-made Swiss legend. And you know what? There's a little discrepancy. We might even see my hot pick sticker there because I'm double dipping. I almost made this legacy my hot pick tonight, but I went with something in a different direction. But if I could have 2 hot picks, This would be my secondary hot pick of the night. Oh, I even get to have 2 hot picks. I win.
You
38 millimeter legacy.
spoiled.
Here. Now here is another Swiss-made Swiss Legend with that same ISA Swiss-made chronograph movement. That's a multifunction. Multifunction for me practically makes a lot of sense. I like that you get the secondary time zone at the 6 o'clock subdial. I like that you've got the current date at the 3 o'clock and then the day of the week at the 9 o'clock. Here, once again, one of my favorites, subtle accent of two-tone. But this 200-meter diver also has genuine diamonds and a mother-of-pearl dial. For me, when I'm looking for a watch that I can wear on the weekends, something that I can wear on vacation, I want something that I can wear all day and into the night. Here, this is a timepiece that really, really works for me. 6 payments of $28.33. 289-550.
One of the brands that we have an outstanding relationship with is Maurice Lacroix. You know, they've been building watches since 1889, and in 1975, when they reinvigorated the brand, you suddenly saw them just take on the watch world by storm, because that was an era in which everything was coming out with quartz movements. But they decided to stick with and focus entirely on automatics and mechanicals. This watch is the perfect gentleman or lady's watch. Now, it's in a classic size of 40 millimeters. Now, it's from the Masterpiece collection. Now, the Cinq Achilles, what you're seeing right there, is the 5-hand. That literally translates into 5-hand. Now, I happen to have the version of this that is in 18-karat gold.
Oh, there we go.
You know, it's I have not. I
Less
have
than
to make
10 minutes into the show.
I have to make reference to it. It's my favorite
No, you're very
watch.
proud of it.
But I can tell you, it's been one of the most reliable and accurate timepieces I own. Now, having a fairly extensive collection of watches, when I bought my Masterpiece collection and put it on a watch winder, I've worn the watch officially 4 times now in about 3.5, 4 months. And that watch has not lost a minute since it's been on there. Now, it has the ML159 automatic movement inside. That's a 26-joule automatic with 38 hours of power reserve. And, you know, you can look at the watch and you realize that this watch, I just want you to see both sides. I want you to be able to see that instead of using anything that is on the digital side, everything becomes analog on the watch as far as, look at the hands. They are literally telling you everything you need to know. You don't have any windows anywhere on this watch, such as a date window, a day window, a month window. Everything is running off the hands. The hour, the minute, the seconds. You can see the day of the week is also run by a hand. The date is run by a hand. That's why this is part of the 5-hand collection. It's all Swiss-made, sapphire crystal, both front and back. And this is a great view into the ML 159 movement on the inside. You know, and the adjustments on this, it has 3 positions after full winding and after 24 hours. That is amazing. I have to tell you, it's been one of the most comfortable watches that I've worn, and it always gets a compliment because you have all of those hands that are actually doing the work for you instead of having, say, a subdial or a window to give you the information. So I want you to take a peek both this side and to take a look inside of the beating heart of the watch. The 316L stainless steel is going to ensure that the watch is going to look great for years to come. You know, because this is the type of metal that this is not like a, you know, a chrome coating, if you will. 316L stainless steel, when it is polished, has this luster to it. Some metals, if you use a different type of material, have to have a coating put on them to give them that luster. Not 316L. It even has 50 meters of water resistance. Now, you think about a luxury watch, you don't always think about it being something that can be that durable. Look how beautiful that bracelet is. Now, I'm going to show you that 40 millimeter case, how well that looks.
That looks really nice.
It really does. I love the watch because it really is old school in the fact that with everything running off that center pin, all 5 hands, the amount of work that it takes, this is why it's from the Masterpiece collection. That's why this watch sells for almost $4,000. That is a remarkable savings for you, with it's almost 75% off the retail price. It's about 70-something% off of that. Even though it's a 5-hand configuration, look how easy it is still to read the time. You can see the two very thin hands, you know, for your hour and your minute. You can see the specialized hand with the arrow on it to give you the date, and that slender hand with the extended pointer to give you the day.
Can I just make a note of the fact that it's a super slim line case?
Oh my goodness, yes.
To have such a complicated movement inside? That's kind of amazing, because sometimes when we see automatic watches that have lots of functionality, I think that's always so great, but they can be really tall and really bulky. This could fit really nice under even, you know, your cuffed shirt, or if you're wearing a sport coat with it.
Well, ponder this. You know, you have a layer of crystal, sapphire crystal, and then you have to have a little bit of space so that the rotor can rotate. Then you have the movement, and then you have space, and then you have the dial, and then there's space for 5 hands, and then there is a sapphire crystal. All of that in this ultra slim line. Let me get a little focus right there. There we go. The ultra slim line case. It really looks good. Megan, just to humor me, would you try this on? Because
Absolutely.
I want ladies to see out there that when you're dealing with the masterpiece collection, whether within this size, whether a gentleman or a lady.
Nice.
Oh, ultra smooth.
You know what's nice about this bracelet is, obviously, of course, we would come to expect something like this with a near $4,000 watch from Maurice Lacroix's most prestige line, the Masterpiece line. But the bracelet in and of itself, it's almost done in a woven pattern. And sometimes when you see certain stainless steel bracelets, they'll be printed to make it look like multi-link. But of course, this is a true multi-link bracelet all the way around. I think it looks great on my wrist, too.
Yeah, I just thought.
Not to take away from your top pick, but I think it looks great on mine as well. $183. Remember, every single item is on 6 payments. We want you to close out 2015 strong. Maybe pick up something that you've had your eye on all year long. Now that Christmas is sadly over, you've got some time to do a little shopping, and maybe you should treat yourself to something. 295-842. Nice hot pick.
Thank you for helping to sell my hot pick. I'm sorry I couldn't wear yours.
Yes, no, I'm not letting anybody else try this on.
However, I would wear that.
I know you would. It's a gorgeous timepiece. And you know what's great is we've got a lot of our wonderful viewers that tweet us pretty frequently about how much they love Technomarine. My mom and I have had our Technomarine watches for, oh my gosh, 10 years or more. Technomarine is one of those luxury, fashion-forward companies. And what's nice about it is they always do timepieces that have the functionality and the technology to be very, very sporty. But they're never watches, in my opinion, that you see and you go, well, it's casual enough to wear it to the gym or dress it up. This is a watch that is so beautifully dressed up, and yet it's got so much toughness and resilience to it. What you're looking at is a 39 millimeter. It will wear larger than that, and notice that's because you've got the thick extended lug area on either side, but we'll get to that in a moment. This is the Blue Manta collection, and check out that gorgeous wave texture inside the dial, right? It almost makes the dial come alive, as if it's in motion in the ocean. Ah, look at what I just did there.
You know, Technomarine has been around since 1997, and one of the best things they did was when they wanted to take this luxury casual watch and really give it that gravitas, they took it to the French Riviera. They took it
fabulous.
to the places where people were wearing their super high-end watches, and then they wanted something super high-end to play in.
It's so true, because you know what's funny is when I see a watch like this, I would think, well, I would never actually want to wear it diving, even though it does have 200 meters and is a professional grade dive watch. But Technomarine, as you said, designs them so that you can do that. So in a lot of ways, you know how we always talk about if you're going on a vacation or if you're going on a cruise or something, this really is the perfect watch for that, because you could wear this snorkeling or scuba diving, and then perfect for the formal night dinner.
It's not just another pretty face, no pun intended. I mean, it really is a watch that's designed to be tough, rugged, and handle all the sports you're going to do with it, but still be luxurious.
Now notice another thing that I love about it. It's got this beautiful curved, almost bangle style bracelet, and that's because you've got the extended long lug area. You can see right here that it's going to allow your wrist to be beautifully fit inside this timepiece. Now, going back to this bracelet here and the bezel, I want to talk about what you see here. This isn't mirror polished silver tone and mirror polished black ionic plating. You've got the 316L stainless steel, but all of this black that you see throughout the bracelet and around the bezel and up onto the case, that is all glossy, high-tech, high-grade, scratch-resistant ceramic. So you've got a beautiful ceramic and stainless steel timepiece. Now, as I'm suiting up to put this on my wrist, I want you to see that beauty shot for a moment, and then we're going to come back to it so you can see the sparkle on either side of the case. This timepiece is outfitted with genuine diamonds and blue sapphires. So the blue manta, of course, signifying the blue of the ocean and the waves, but also the blue sapphires and diamond accents that frame either side of that beautiful bangle-style bracelet. Wraps around the wrist comfortably, has a nice presentation, but is still relatively low profile. A Swiss-made watch with a scratch-resistant case, bracelet, and bezel, as well as a sapphire crystal. This is the kind of watch, ladies, where if I were to tell you, okay, you need just one watch, something you can dress up, something you can dress down, something you can put on and never take off, go for my hot pick. Under $100 gets it home. And yes, that list price of $2,400, that's true. $290,435. Now we're going to move on to the large version of the new Eleni Barocca Spirit, which I say new, but really the Eleni Barocca Spirit is not a new timepiece. Originally, Eleni Barocca, many years ago, before they came underneath the umbrella of our parent company, Swiss Watch International, they did design their version of the Spirit. And it's funny, I was talking to, about a week ago, Niso Barocas, who is the creative director for Swiss Watch International, and of course he was the founder of Eleni Barocca. And I was saying to him, because I do love this 48 millimeter, they have it in a smaller size for the ladies. I was saying, Niso, it's so exciting to see all the new Eleni designs because now you've brought back some of the best-selling Eleni watches of all time, but they are so much more affordable because the original Swiss-made Eleni Barocca Spirit was nearly $1,000.
Well, and he's really very much used to being in a world where watches of the caliber to which he designs and crafts were in that $500 to $1,000 range. And he said, you know, Wiley, before I came to Swiss Watch International, I was so used to my creation selling for so much more. And getting into this mindset of we're going to make sure we can have the lowest price and for everyone to be able to have it. He said, it's wonderful, but I'm just so used to it, you know, being at what it should be at. It's much higher value. And folks, you've probably learned that by now. We've tried to craft watches that everybody can own. And not just by keeping the price incredibly low, but also making the payments if you chose not to pay, you know, put the whole $169.99 up front. You have the ability for just $28 to get a watch home that if it's not everything we're saying, you return it at our expense and we reimburse you. Now, you're going to appreciate the ISA 8361 movement inside. You know, this is that brand new movement that took 5 years to develop. My ISA, this is not some, you know, old movement that has just been sitting in a warehouse somewhere for forever. This is brand new, absolutely brand new. And even though the watch has that much craftsmanship in it, on the interior, they've also made sure that the case has 100 meters of water resistance. Now, before we shift to the wrist, I want you to look right here and notice that the 12 looks like it is floating because it's actually imprinted on the crystal. You see that, Megan?
Oh, that's
Look at
cool.
that. Can you see it right there?
Wow, that's really cool. I didn't even notice that.
It casts a shadow right there on the spot below. You're also going to notice that you have an extended or open date window, which allows you to see into the inner workings of the watch without having a completely skeletonized dial. There's your date window. You have 3 additional sub-dials that are going to work in tandem with the chronograph function. Now, let me slip this on the wrist so that we can let you see this. Now, I love the fact that even though it has a silicone strap, they've still done a deployant clasp, which is a little bit extra to do because it's less expensive just to put a buckle on there. But by having the deployant, it just shows you that the watch really is a much more luxurious itineration than just your pedestrian watch. I really love the Eleni Barocca line. Now, 284225 is going to get you the 48mm Spirit chronograph. Do not hesitate to purchase this. And by the way, go ahead and take a peek at the website. We have some other colors, styles, and variations of this watch. I'm sure we have just the right one for you.
When we're able to make our employee purchases next month, or I guess that's funny to say because it's actually in like a week, I'm going to pick up the Spirit in the smaller lady size.
Are you really?
Yeah, I really, really
you
love
have a color you like?
I think I'm going to get it in all black for my vacation when I go to Colorado.
Oh, that's
something I can wear all day because I'm going to be skiing and then I'll wear it to dinner and such.
Oh, that'll be really nice.
Okay.
I love the little knurling that's around it as well. This is a good-looking
So
watch.
if the Spirit isn't wild enough for you, ladies and gentlemen, 296-119. How about the Captain? You know, it's kind of fun to have a watch with a name like that. The Captain.
It looks like Captain America's watch.
It does. Here you've got, it also looks to me, and now this is gentlemen out there that are into comics and things like this. I'm probably not going to say the right
Oh, you are
thing.
so...
It looks like a transformer. This watch looks like it's going to transform into something else. Doesn't it look really cool? Of course, that's coming from me that's only seen like the Michael Bay Transformers movie, so I have no idea. But to me, I love like the geometric industrial design that this looks like it's going to transform into something else right now. I love that. Looking inside your dial, I'm always crazy, and
Well, there you go. Just in that sentence right there, Megan.
I am always crazy about this dial color. I really, truly love this royal blue dial. And you'll notice when we come in a little bit closer, how you'll be able to see that that royal blue actually is done in a very interesting way because you've got a two-piece dial here where you've got the silver tone that you can see in the backdrop where you've got, look at your hour markers. Notice how the ones on the sides follow the shape of the case. That's really sleek. But here, this beautiful blue center chapter of the dial that holds your 12, 3, 6, and 9, that's an additional plate that's been screwed down. And notice that it's been cut away to reveal those 4 master Arabic numerals. Do you see that multi-level dial? It's just that kind of craftsmanship that when you're looking at a watch that's going to cost you $26, $27 a month, it's really nice to be able to get something like that. Now, it might be that kind of blocky rectangular shape, but notice the curvature of the stainless steel case. You can see the fully functioning screws holding it in place. Integrated silicone strap. There's a lot of detail work on here that even though it's a big block of stainless steel, it's been ergonomically designed. Even the scratch-resistant Safetec crystal is curved. Everything from the case back, look at that. The screwed down case back is curved, the stainless steel case, the Safetec crystal. Keep in mind, movements come flat. When you see a case that is curved, that means the movement inside has to be curved and manipulated to fit that shape. That is not something that's easy to do, like, oh, we'll just bend the Swiss-made ISA 2331 movement inside. It's actually another step that they have to do in the manufacturing of this watch. So for you, there's a great benefit because it really does give you that customized fit all the way around. Beautiful soft touch silicone strap with the white stitching. So it's a nice high quality. I'm going to pass it over to Wiley to try on so you can see. It is a bigger timepiece. So you're going to want to see it on a larger gentleman's wrist.
Since we don't have a larger gentleman's wrist, we'll show it to you on mine. This is... I'm going to have to get like wrist implants. It's a 6 3/4 inch wrist. Thank you, Mark. It's it's a 6 3/4 inch wrist, but look, notice exactly as Megan said, the curvature of the case makes a perfect fit for your wrist. Now, Megan could easily wear this watch. It might be a little big on Megan's wrist. She has a 6-inch wrist. But you know, if you have down to, I'm going to say, a 6.5-inch wrist all the way to a very large wrist, look at that generous amount of strap on there. And I love the fact that even though it's a silicone strap, they still did stitching like it's leather.
I know. It's really nice.
So from a distance, someone looks at the watch and they go, wow, that's a really high-end, almost like a patent leather. But when you touch it, you realize that it's a silicone. And that's great if you're going to head out in the water, because unless you're dealing with Illuminox, you don't want to get that leather strap wet.
All right, 296-119. We're going to transition away from one of our own brands to one of our best-selling brands, period. Invicta, 258805, the big behemoth 49 millimeter Invicta Pro Diver. Now, you know I talk about it a lot. I think that two-tone timepieces have maximum versatility. And even for gentlemen out there, whether you want to wear a monochromatic all silver tone or you love all gold tone, I suggest always trying at least one two-tone watch in your arsenal. I think that it adds a nice jewelry look to it because, as Wiley and I always talk about, traditionally, when we see high-end timepieces that are two-tone, gold is always solid gold. So here the gold tone in a lot of ways, especially matched with that cobalt blue, which that 3-color combo is always a luxury color combo. This looks like solid gold interspersed through stainless steel.
And I love the fact that with the Digital, you also have a fully electronic watch on the inside. Notice that even though this is a crown, it is more of a button than it is a crown because simply by rotating this and holding it just a touch, it begins to move the hand without rotating.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's connected directly to the digital display. So it's not as if the two separate movements are running independently.
So you don't have to pop the crown.
Well, you do just a little bit. You just pull it out just a touch, but it then activates more like a lever than it does a true crown. So that's just kind of cool.
Cool. And it's great because the digital readout then will allow you to set it exactly to the minute that you want.
Now, these are even screw-down pushers on here. So yes, you would have to screw that back in, but to help add to the level of water resistance within the watch, they've made sure that even the pushers were screw down. You usually see that on a higher end watch. Certainly Breitling does that as well as some other companies. I love the fact that Invicta has gone that extra step to ensure that you can do that with your watch as well. And those pushers are going to activate the different functions within the, oh, I'm sorry, I saw the crown out. That would help if I put that back in, doesn't it? But that's going to activate all of your stuff that's at the 6 o'clock digital readout. And you can scroll through and you can see what's going on there. So that's really kind of cool. Now I want to show you this big bold watch at 49 millimeters on the wrist. It's a thick watch too. It's not just one that is big across, but it is also 17.15 millimeters thick. So wow. 17 millimeters thick. There's heading into Abisos territory.
I guess that's because it technically almost has like a little computer inside.
Well, yes, you really have two different type of movements because usually an analog digital movement that's combined like this is a little thicker because you have to have the resilience of the basically the computer technology that's inside of the digital side of it. And even though those can be wafer thin now, the smaller they are, the more expensive they are. So you're seeing a pretty good sized watch and movement in there.
I love that we can get an Invicta for $20 home. Isn't that nice?
Well, the fact that this is an digital watch for $119, that's pretty amazing. Because you know my general theory. Mm-hmm. With most Invicta watches, if I'm looking for the bargain,
you don't want to pay more than $100.
Not more than $100, but because this is an digital and it is, that extra beefed up watch for $119, I would easily do that. I'm amazed that we have it at that on the show. And 6 payments. $20, that's pretty good.
258-805, the 49 millimeter Pro Diver. Wiley and I are going to transition now to 2 variations of this next timepiece, the 42 millimeter Stellar. And yeah, you should start off with that one with the leather because it's interesting. I actually think that the leather strap variation that we're showing right now, item number 234717, might be dressier than the next version.
Oh, this is a tough call.
I know, it kind of is, now that I'm looking at it.
I'm going to have to
put the bracelet right in front of you.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, that was awkward.
I
can't ever let it be about someone else.
Here, let me get my manicure in there.
This looks nice, really nice. Even with your shirt, it's...
I'm just going to kind of preview the other watch. All right, let's just take a poll. Mark, what do you think? Which one of these is dressier, bracelet or leather? What do you think, Daniel? Bracelet or leather, dressier?
Everybody knows not to go against me. I'm the only girl
That's
here.
Really, it is the truth because,
It's in my contract.
If I yell the building's on fire and Megan goes, no,
it's
not
fine.
really,
Relax.
it's
just
fine.
Getting hot.
Get some marshmallows. Everybody go, let's stay with Megan. Thanks, guys.
Of course, no, they'll stay with me because it's s'mores.
You do always carry chocolate. I appreciate that about you. Folks, I'm going to have to agree with Megan on this one, and that is there's something about the Croco embossed leather strap that really does feel like you think about a library. The library isn't just about the books. The library is also about that leather chair that you sit in. There's, when you think about a car, no matter what the car is, when they put the leather seats inside.
Of course, you always get the upgrade.
Yes, look at that. And there's just a bit of polish on there, almost not quite a patent leather, but certainly a bit more polish than you'd find if it was not as dressy. I love that sunburst pattern on the outer chapter ring, and then that kind of, what would you call that? Kind of a cushion shape?
Yeah, it almost looks like a quilting.
Quilting, thank you. The two subdials. Remember, this is a multifunction. You have a day and date complication, and it's all operated through the crown. Now, if you like this version for $59.99, let me show you the other. And I'm sorry, but even though I think this is dressier, I really like a bracelet on a watch.
You like it? Well, the bracelet always gives you a little bit more. And what's nice is if you choose to go with the bracelet version, it's only $10 more.
How do we do that?
It's amazing.
No,
Think about how much
seriously.
more stainless steel. Think about how many more passes of gold tone there are. And it really does change up the entire look of the watch. For some reason, even the gunmetal colored dial looks different with the all rose bracelet than it did on the brown leather strap. Nice slimline design too.
One of the things, it's taken me a while because I've always loved traditional yellow gold. But there is something just slightly more conservative about rose gold. It doesn't have that tinge to it, that just pop. Now, if you really want the bling, you have to go with yellow. The rose is so popular. Even phones are coming in that color
I
now.
have it.
Did you get a...
I call it pink, but yeah, my
It is
smartphone
pink.
is the pink one.
You know I'm slightly red-green colorblind. I can pass the test, and that's why I'm wearing the green shirt today. Anyway, I think the Lucien Piccard watch looks great. 42mm stellar rose tone stainless steel gray dial. This is a beautiful choice as well, only $69. Are you ready for this? $11.66 to get an incredible watch home. I have a January birthday. My son has a February birthday, and the best thing about that is any of the stuff we don't get for Christmas, we request
Oh, that's nice.
for the January, February birthdays. So maybe you know somebody out there that has an after holiday birthday and you still need to get them something. Well, I assure you, any watch lover that gets a Luminox watch is going to be pretty thrilled. Luminox has really tried to conquer land, sea, air, and with this particular watch, how about space? The men's SXC Space GMT really, and I guess a lady could wear this as well. This is your astronaut boyfriend watch. So this is just one of those watches that I really love from Luminox because it just looks a little different from all of the military style watches. Now the first thing you're going to notice when you pick it up, you're going to think it's going to float away. It is ridiculously lightweight. This is not plastic. It's a special polymer that has been created so that it has that uber lightweightness to it. It is super lightweight PC carbon reinforced material that is creating the case. It is not a plastic. They've used the lightest silicone strap that they could put on there, and they've even used a lightened mineral crystal because it is lighter than sapphire. Remember, when you're sending something into space, every gram counts. So they really did make it to every spec as if you're getting on, well, I guess with Virgin Galactic. You know, would you get on there? Would you get on the Virgin Galactic flight?
I would wait a little bit longer.
Well, it's not open yet, but I'm just saying, would you go into space?
Maybe after it had been around for about 10, 20 years. I'd think about it.
Would you do a show in space with me?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, we'll only do the space watches. We'll do Omega and Bulova and Luminox.
But you know what's great about this is Luminox is one of those brands, and I know we talk about it on the shows. They don't just design watches that they say, oh, this is great for space. As you can see on the seal emblazoned on the back of that PC carbon case, this was actually designed with astronauts that work with the Space Expedition Corporation. So I think that's really cool because this isn't just something that says, oh, it's light enough for the astronauts. This is designed in partnership with the SXC, just like the Color Mark collection has the Navy SEALs emblazoned on the back because it was designed with the Navy SEALs. So these are watches that really walk and talk everything that they say they will.
Now you're going to notice on the hands, there's going to be the tritium-filled tubes. And on the outer chapter ring, you also have hour indices that are going to allow you to see the time even in the darkness of space. Or just that dark theater you may be watching Star Wars in. I think the watch really looks good. All Swiss made. And remember, tritium is an inert gas. It constantly glows. You don't have to charge this watch up. You know, some watches, well, in fact, almost all of them, whether it's Superluminova or Lumibright, you have to hold them up to a light source. The light penetrates the dial. It charges up the luminescence. This always glows. But look at it on the wrist. That really looks good. And it's not just an hour, minute, and a continuously operating sweep hand, date complication, but also another hand for your GMT, the Greenwich Mean Time, your secondary time zone. And even though it's designed for space, just in case your capsule has to splash down, you have 200 meters of water resistance. How about that? $199.99, only $33.33 to get it. That's great. A Luminox for $33.
Well, if you want 2 time zones and you think that's cool, you got to check out this next red line here. We've got 3 time zones for you. Not 1, not 2, but 3 time zones. And check this out in the 50mm jet stream. 288308. Of course, the Red Line brand is all about pushing things to the red line, all about that go-fast lifestyle. When you look at the different timepieces that the collection designs, you'll notice that they all have an automotive-inspired design. So this is 3 independent time zones, all referenced there in independent subdials, but it looks like something you would see looking into the dashboard of a high-end sports car. Your main time zone here, time zone 1, is operated by this big crown right here, just traditional. And then you've got 2 additional subdials right here, time zone 2 and time zone 3. Flush to the side of your case, you've got 2 other little crowns that you would just pull out using your fingernail that you are able to then operate those additional time zones. So 3 time zones in 1 dial, each with their own independent crown. Now this is a timepiece that's all done in gunmetal. And again, because they want to simulate the look of something that you would see in a high-end sports car, they have done a matte bead blasted finish. That means the machine is actually, just as it sounds, a matte bead blasted finish all on the gunmetal stainless steel, the gunmetal plated stainless steel, to give it the look of titanium. I was going to say carbon fiber. To give it the look of titanium, so it has that matte finishing. You'll even notice that the dial gunmetal color is done in that same matte finishing as well. Soft touch black silicone strap. It's a 50mm, and yet look at how it wraps around the wrist. Super easy to wear. I've got it on the tightest, not even the tightest closure, with my 6-inch wrist. Strap here easily accommodates up to a 9-inch wrist. $15 gets it home. 288308. You get a 5-year warranty on each of the movements inside as well. Again, that item number is 288308. Moving on to another red line here, 191117. We have not seen the 50mm Torque Sport in, I would say, a year. The Torque Sport, when it originally came out, was in an automatic, and then we brought out the more affordable, and I'd certainly say that this is an affordable timepiece, at $6 and change. This...
You can't buy a battery for a watch for $6.67.
This is a 3-hand quartz Japanese Miyota movement inside. This is going to be the most affordable watch of the show, and what's nice about it is we're not giving you the most affordable watch in some wild and crazy color combo. We're giving you an all blacked out design.
I think this watch really looks good, and even though it is one of our much more pedestrian-priced, low-price watches, I can tell you that the feel of the case, the strap, there is nothing cheap feeling about the watch. The price may be very, very inexpensive, but I don't want you to be fooled into thinking that this is an inferior product. Now, both Meg and I will always be honest. If we feel like a watch is like, well, please understand that, you know, this may be a super entry-level watch, but don't expect much. I mean, we'll tell you that. I mean, we're not...
Of course, we always like to be honest. We pride ourselves on that.
And this is also one of those watches that, remember, when you purchase with us, we are watchmakers and watch designers. This is a company filled with folks that make watches and love watches. This is where you're able to get a watch home, and you're able to see that if it's not everything we're claiming, you have the ability to send it back. Now, when you look at the watch, you're seeing that really the sporty aspirations are in it, because if you look at the hour indices, they've put the the seconds at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, this is something you see in a much more sporty watch without having to use a chronograph to say, hey, I'm a sport watch. You have 100 meters of water resistance. I think the design is just such a good-looking classic design. In fact, let me slip this on the wrist. I want you to see that the watch, even though it's a sport watch, really can dress up, because I'm wearing, black and red today and a black tie. This watch I would wear easily with what I'm wearing and not feel like, oh, I've dressed down. But if you wanted to wear a t-shirt and blue jeans, this watch is there for you. You want to dress it up. I'm not going to say it's necessarily a suit and tie.
It actually looks nice with what you're wearing.
I'm about to say, with what I'm wearing right now, just that pop of red coming through, the white contrast against everything else that I've got on, this is nice.
So remember, we are back to our free shipping. We always have free shipping. Last weekend, we were able to offer you the additional $9.99 for the 2-day shipping. But being that the holidays are over and we're back to our free shipping, yes, it is possible to put down $6.67, and we will ship you this Redline 50-millimeter Torque Sport with a 5-year warranty. 191,117. I mean, that's almost crazy to me. $6.67.
Like I said, that's the price of a battery at Walmart.
Yeah, it's true. 274-853, going up a little bit here in our style and in our quality with a Swiss-made Swiss legend.
Megan, what do you think of this watch? I mean, just give me your painfully honest opinion. Because when somebody thinks about some of the deep dive watches from everything from Rolex to some of the other companies that are doing deep dive, we're making a lot of claims about this. How do you feel about it?
I really like the 46-millimeter Abisos. It was one of the best-selling watches. This is actually the second generation of the Abisos. And what's nice about it is we're able to offer people out there, because, not everybody is in the line of purchasing a watch with this kind of functionality from Omega or a watch with this functionality from Breitling.
Oh, they're very expensive.
Of course, they're thousands of dollars.
Thousands.
But for those of us that are in that mid-range buying level, that want a Swiss-made watch, that love automatics, that maybe want something with lots of water resistance, if we can't shell out $10,000 for a watch, what are we supposed to do? The Abisos allows us to purchase something that has a lot of that same great quality. The movement inside is the STP 1-11 26 joule automatic movement. Now, we had a great viewer, Bobby, who a few months ago, when the Abisos automatic came out, actually asked us a bit about the STP 1-11, and he himself, even more than we were able to, did some research by contacting STP, the movement manufacturer, and they wrote back to him, which he shared with us, that the STP 1-11 automatic movement is most comparable to the Swiss-made ETA 2824-2 automatic movement, which is a very well-known movement, a very popular movement, easy to service, incredibly reliable, and something that a lot of companies then use as a base. So STP themselves are working on a movement that they model to be similar or model after the ETA movement, and we've got that movement here. So we're even able to offer you something that is not going to break the bank, and yet you get a lot of that same quality. Now, the black, white, and yellow color combo to me reminds me of a color combo we would see on an Omega Speedmaster. So I like it already, because if you're just walking through the grocery store with this watch on, or if you're on the boat, you've got a watch that looks color combo, functionality, a lot like those high-end Swiss-made watches. And this is a high-end Swiss-made watch.
Now, I want you to just take a look at the moment, because if you're thinking this is just going to show up, I ordered a discount watch online once. It came in a plastic bag.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm serious. I mean, it was none of the packaging. I don't know. I question the legitimacy of that. Not only getting the original packaging, you're getting a 3-slot waterproof watch box. Now, if you're going, why does a 1,000-meter watch need a waterproof case? Because you may have some watch friends that want to join you, such as some of those watches that aren't as dust or water resistant. Do you know that with Bulova and Omega, one of the reasons that Omega beat out Bulova on some of the Moon stuff is because they could guarantee dust resistance.
Really?
Where Bulova at the time couldn't. So maybe you have a watch that isn't lunar dust resistant, and you need
Oh, darn.
well, just in case you have a Luminox that, was part of the Space Corporation. But this watch has so much functionality, and of course with our Safetec crystal on there, what does that say about Safetec that it's rated for 1,000 meters? And look at the loom on this. I mean, that's life-saving.
That's actually genuine Swiss Superluminova. You know, Swiss Superluminova has somewhat become a colloquial term. It's what people, you know, it's like the same way if somebody says, oh, can you pass me a Kleenex instead of a tissue? Not all tissues are Kleenex. Not all glass cleaner is Windex, but people use it as the word now. A lot of people will claim it's Swiss Superluminova, but not everything is genuine Swiss Superluminova. With the Avisos Automatic, that's genuine Swiss Superluminova.
STP stands for Swiss Technology Production, and they are the company that has been producing some stellar movements, all Swiss made. So please do not hesitate if you're not familiar with that particular manufacturer. They do an outstanding job.
294-580. Here's a brand people know. Swiss Legend and the movement inside. The ISA movement itself. This is the ISA multifunction movement that is new to our Swiss-made watches. And as I was talking about earlier, I find that multifunction movements like this have a lot of convenience factors for me. And I'll show you why when we come in close. It's going to look, of course, like a chronograph, but you'll notice that it's actually a broken out calendar. So right here at the 3 o'clock position is your calendar date. Your day of the week subdial. I love that. You've got the date and the day. And if I use this top pusher here, I can set my calendar date. If I pull the crown once, I can set my calendar day. More importantly than that, the 24-hour ring at the 6 o'clock position. This is a secondary time zone. So what you can do is actually use it as a military equivalent of the currently displayed hours using the little pusher, or you can actually just offset it for a secondary time zone. So I love 2 time zones, 1 dial, day of the week, calendar date. You can see behind all of that is a beautiful piece of A-grade mother of pearl. As I was talking about earlier, I love having sporty style watches that I can wear to different events. I can wear it all day and into the night. And this Swiss-made watch is also a 200-meter professional grade diver. You've got the 18-karat rose tone and the silver tone. And before I put it on, I want to show you how this might come to you in the box. You're going to get your watch. You're going to get it with your clasp because we are using all new closures on our Swiss-made watches and even on our Alini Barocas and Lucien Piccard watches. Very, very easy to do. Now, it's eventually going to become a dual deployant, but look at what happens here. What you've got is your closure here, and it actually works. I'm calling it like a little mandible jaw. The piece itself, right here, the bottom piece just comes right off. You can see that's where you've got your little notch there that you'll thread through. Then you take your strap, you very easily just slide it right through that space right there. When you get to the point where you think it's going to fit, I'm going to move it a little bit tighter on this watch because I've got a 6-inch wrist. It just locks right into place. You snap it down. That's it. Now you're always going to be able to just open up both sides of the closure to put the timepiece on. And what's great about that is even with a silicone strap, you get, oh wow, I got it perfectly. You get it right on the money, and it's never, ever, ever going to wear out. It's going to have that great quality. You can see with the stainless steel accents and the Swiss Legend stamping on it that you've got that great customization there. And look at how this 41 millimeter Swiss-made diver plays on my 6-inch wrist. And this is a Swiss-made watch.
Okay, I've had people send me messages and they've asked, are they really Swiss-made? I mean, where in Switzerland? I mean, is it really, or is it just something you're claiming because you threw a Swiss movement in there? Not true at all.
No, that would be illegal.
Yeah. So realize that our factories are in Lugano, Switzerland.
Beautiful.
So, it's in fact, we have some great videos that we hope to show you soon from the factories of how these watches are made. So we're not just claiming Swiss made, because I don't know if maybe that's happened in the past, and we want to apologize. If anybody out there in watch television has somehow set a bad precedent for the watches that are on those programs, we want to apologize, because that's not us. We want to make sure everything we tell you is spot on. So feel free to send us an email and ask a question, because we're delighted to answer them, and we're very proud of our Swiss-made watches.
All right, we're going to move on now to another Swiss-made watch. Here, 287844. And yes, that's a great point that you made, but also something to keep in mind is it would be illegal for us to do something like that.
You say that, what does that mean?
Well, being able to show Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position on the dial means that you actually, as a company, have to do a number of things. One, you have to make sure the movement inside is Swiss made. One, at least 60% of the value of the watch is of Swiss made parts. Number three, it must be packaged and assembled all in Switzerland. And as we were saying, our factories are located in Lugano, which is some of the most beautiful areas in the world. I've been there. Not with Swiss Legend, but I've been to Lugano. And number four, all final inspection must be done by the Swiss Federation. If a company does not pass all four of those steps, it is illegal to put the word Swiss made at the 6 o'clock position. And I think a company like ours would never do something like that.
Well, and also the Swiss government is protective of the words Swiss made, particularly at the 6 o'clock position. And the Swiss Watch Federation has very strong and stringent rules of what passes for that. So please know, if you're seeing that at the 6 o'clock position on any of our watches, 100% we back that up, and legally we have to.
And yeah, I went to Switzerland about 9 years ago.
Wow.
I backpacked through Europe when I was
What, were you
like
a
19.
child? I thought
Yeah,
you said
I
you
was
were just
19.
in a stroller?
287-844. Quick mention here of the 42mm Blue Genève. This is a gorgeous timepiece, Swiss made. You've got a ceramic bezel insert, a mother of pearl outer chapter on that dial, and 200 meters of water resistance. 6 payments of $26.67. 287-844.
You backpacked through Switzerland?
I backpacked through all of Europe, and I went to Lugano and Interlaken.
Good heavens. We need to do a traveling show. Friends and family, Swiss Legend. Wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, I would love to.
But it's going to be much more luxurious than we're taking up a step.
Backpacking through Hollywood, Florida?
The 46mm EOgraph. You know, when I saw this, I immediately thought this had to be a brand new
I know.
stock. Because it really does it feels like, how long has it been since we had them before I got here? Because
we've had this watch for a number of years, but we always sell out of it so frequently that it's kind of interesting that we even have some left over from Christmas.
I know, because this in the blue dial is probably one of the best
Best sellers,
sellers ever. Now, I like the silver. There's just something about this that reminds me of another high-end watch out there that we can't mention, Rolex. Who said that? That really, it's pulling from a style. And I guess somebody sent me a message the other day about, have you noticed that some of your watches are pulling from some of the best watch styles out there? And I went,
Yeah, have you noticed that clothing does the same thing, and handbags, and shoes, and cars?
Somebody sent a
and
message
homes.
like, hey, have you noticed the scuba door looks like a clerk? And I said, thank you. Because, absolutely. Now, not every watch that we design is going to be reminiscent of somebody else's style, but if there's a style point out there that really hits a button with you and you don't want to put out $15,000 for a watch, well, we've tried to duplicate that in some of our styles, and hopefully you appreciate that. And when you put it with a Swiss-made watch or some of the other great movements that we've put in there, such as a Swiss movement, maybe the watch isn't all Swiss-made, you're getting a quality watch with the look of one that maybe costs thousands more. And how about this? Here's a great look for under $80. And only $13.33 gets it home.
This is a nice clean look. I would see.
Yeah, it
I could
cleans a
see
good
you
work.
wearing this, but I could also see your son wearing this. It's really got that great versatile appearance to it. You could really kind of dress it up or dress it down.
Well, you know, it's dressy in its style and configuration, yet by the fact that it has the tachymeter style bezel and the chronograph, it just adds that sporty element to it. And I love that. And under $80, you can't go wrong, and we're paying for shipping.
All right, 80152. That's how you know it's an oldie but a goodie around here. Look at the item number. It was only 5 digits. Here, 205032, the 47mm Gladiator. Now, these Ellini Baroccas Gladiators are going to wear closer to a 50mm on the wrist. Just want to get that out of the way because the styling and the construction, these are big, bold watches. These are some of the best-selling Ellini Baroccas watches. The Gladiator and the Fortitudo are the best-selling Ellini Baroccas watches in World of Watches TV history. These are such incredible watches. Now, as we're starting to see in recent times with Ellini Baroccas, you guys might be getting used to the fact that there are a lot of wild and really cool high-fashion designs coming out. But just about 2 years ago, when this came out, the 47mm Gladiator and the Fortitudo, which I call the fraternal twin, it was very cutting edge for us to have these on the show, and they are still some of the most popular timepieces.
Look at that. I love the curvature in there. That even though I don't want people to get intimidated when you talk about a 50mm watch, the curvature on this means even the smallest wrist.
Oh, I can wear this very easily, and I'll show
Absolutely.
you. Here, you can see a multi-piece case design, and I like that it's done in the two-tone here of rose and black IP. All of the screws and the crown and pushers are done in black IP to be offset from the rose tone case. But notice, if you will, your two-piece bezel. You've got your first piece of bezel around here done in that brushed stainless steel with the rose tone. And then you've got the risers. It almost looks like a crown, rised up and over and bolted down into place all the way around that dial. When you look inside your dial underneath your Safitek crystal, yes, you are looking at a Swiss-made movement. It's the ISA 8172. But notice inside the dial, the multi-level dial you've got. See the different colors? It's almost a three-tone in there, a tri-tone, if you will, with silver tone, rose, and black IP. So this is something that everywhere you look has a lot of detail work. Now, just to prove the point that this is a watch that will fit even a smaller wrist, I am buckling this down, not even to the tightest closure. And I'll set it up for the close-up shot so you can see. It fits without any gapping or spacing. I know, and it kind of looks ridiculous right now. I'm like, oh, look at me. Look at that. No gapping, no spacing, not even on the tightest closure. So with 100 meters of water resistance, this is the kind of timepiece that whether you've got a 6-inch wrist or a 9-inch wrist, because the strap does allow, this is something that can very easily be worn by a number of different people out there. I would encourage anyone out there who has never yet picked up a Gladiator or a Fortitudo, if we even still have Fortitudos available on our website, to please try it out. They are fun watches. They are high fashion without being too over the top, and yet you still get that great quality. 5-year warranty on the movement, a proprietary scratch-resistant crystal, 100 meters of water resistance, 205032. 6 payments of $15 gets this home. Now,
you know, you said, have you ever picked up a Gladiator? I suddenly saw somebody picking up Russell Crowe, and
oh, I'd love to.
well, that's different. You picking up Russell Crowe, and that red dress you wore last week, you easily
I might have
could
been
have.
able to. All right, 205032. All right, next one up, we're going to do a quick mention here. 226297, the 40mm men's Kirkwood from Accutron by Bulova. Last weekend, our pre-Christmas show, we had a lot of great Accutron by Bulova and Accu-Swiss timepieces. These are Swiss-made automatics. This features an ETA 2824-2 automatic movement that has been modified to feature that open heart complication at the 12 o'clock position. Again, that open heart complication shows your escapement. That's what we call the heartbeat of your timepiece. Placed over that is the tuning fork logo. That was the reason the Accutron was such a game changer in the 1960s, was because of the invention of the tuning fork. So now it has become their staple logo. 40mm case, beautiful silver tone textured dial, all mirror polished silver tone for your case bezel and bracelet. $380. Exhibition case back, of course, to see that beautiful ETA movement. 6 payments of $63.33. 226297.
That also comes in a beautiful black dial. So that watch also comes in a beautiful black dial, so don't hesitate if there's one that you really, really like. All right, I'm going to show you a watch that really harkens back to a different era. It just looks so vintage, yet the size at 44mm in the Polaris is a very modern size. So no one's going to confuse it with a true vintage watch, but it certainly is going to hint to it. Look at that. Tell me that does not have just a great look. Now, for those of you who are automotive buffs and you remember the cars from the 30s and 40s, you notice how it kind of looks like the V8 logo right there that you'd see on maybe a Packard or a Cadillac V8? I think it looks really cool. You're also going to appreciate that high mirror polish, almost an Art Deco style bracelet on this watch. Now, the step bezel that's on the watch also gives you a great look that reminds me, again, of the Art Deco appearance. And look at that dial. Now, I want you to see the 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and a small second subdial at the 6 o'clock position. You also have a 24-hour indicator at the 12 And I think that looks really great. Megan, is this one of the ones that can be used as a secondary time zone? Is that would that work on this one?
This actually has a 24-hour indicator there, so it actually works as the AM/PM indicator on the dial. So it looks like it, but what it is because of a 24-hour military clock, that's what it shows you, if whether you're looking at your time zone, if you've got AM or PM on your dial there.
Because the other style, you could independently adjust it, and that's great. Look at that. For only $20 a month, you're able to get a watch that certainly has a look far exceeding its $120 price.
I really like this dial a lot. I love it. I know we're still in wintry time. It looks like a snowman, kind of.
I love you.
I'm very whimsical.
It's a snowman. It's a face.
I know.
It's an emoji.
I know. Guys out there are like, well, I'm not buying it now.
I promise you, Megan, if you're showing it, they're buying. Well, let me rephrase that. Anyway, 289533, the Lucien Piccard 44mm Polaris family show. All right, let's.
A big seller last weekend on our pre-Christmas show, the 44mm Optima. This features a PTS Chinese automatic movement inside, a beautiful partially skeletonized dial. You can see it's done in a crescent moon shape. But really the most magnificent thing about it is the open heart complication at the 12 o'clock position with the true screwed down perlage decorated bridge applique over that. Having the open heart with bridge complication and even the other exhibition window down at the 7 o'clock position to show you that other barrel in your movement, that is just gorgeous. Silver tone and black. Yes, it is possible, ladies and gentlemen, or especially gentlemen with a timepiece like this, to spend only $140 and wear this every day with your finest suit. Remember, you always get a 5-year warranty from Lucien Piccard on the movement. So here, you know you're locked in with a 5-year warranty on that PTS Chinese movement. And if you want to use the payments, which I always suggest, because why not? If you came into the show with a budget, use the budget to buy more watches. $23 and change gets this shipped.
You know, Megan, somebody sent me a question the other day about the PTS Chinese movements, because we listed a movement as PTS, but we put the movement as Japanese. Understand, PTS is a manufacturer, and some of their the ones that they manufacture are going to be Chinese, of course, Hong Kong-based company, but they're also a distributor. So they may be distributing a Miyota movement or a Ronda movement. So please understand, if you see a PTS movement in there and it's a Chinese company, and we say it's a Swiss movement or it's a Japanese movement, it's because they have distributed one of the Rondas or one of the Miyotas.
Interesting.
So yeah, so don't let that confuse you. We will, if you see it on our website as PTS but Japanese.
I never cease to be impressed by all of your knowledge, truly.
That's what God gave us Google.
266473, quick mention here of the 52mm Highlander from Swiss Legend. This is currently the largest Swiss Legend watch that we have available. If you like that vintage pilot style design with the largest Sapphitech crystal we've got with the world's largest 10-year warranty against scratching. It's also a cool left-handed configuration timepiece because you can see that your crown and pushers are done on the left-handed side. That means your Swiss-made ISA movement is in there upside down. $15 gets it home. 6 payments, 266473. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're already in hour number 2. Can you believe that?
No way. But truly, the time is flying by.
We're so glad to have you guys joining us tonight. We hope you had a very Merry Christmas yesterday.
Oh, yes.
This weekend is our final weekend of 2015, so we are blowing it out with our end of the year holiday clearance sale. We're also revisiting all of the best-selling timepieces of the past year and giving you one last opportunity to pick those up before next year. Every single item that you'll see this weekend is on 6 interest-free, stress-free payments. And speaking of this weekend, because we will have another show tomorrow night, Wiley and I should remind you that the entire lineup is posted right now on WorldofWatches.com.
Because they may want to shop
in the future.
In the future, because there are so many watches that we have available to you. There's no way we can put them all out on the program. So you can go to World of Watches and you can see things that are going to be on tomorrow's show and even things that we can't air, but they're still at these incredible value prices, and they're still also on 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. So go ahead and take a look. You may find something that's just right for you.
All right, as you can see, we're already setting up to show you a bunch of great watches in this hour. So let's dip into a little preview and show you a sample of what you can expect in hour number 2. These are going to be some of the watches that we're going to open this hour with from Ilini Barrocas. We've got 2 variations. I love black and rose. So whether or not we're looking at something classic or sporty, I always like when you see a black and rose color combination. I love the sportiness and the classic ease of wearing all black, but also the warmth that rose tone, I think, offers a timepiece. Here, your 50 millimeter, done in this very cool multi-level dial. I also really like that the bezel itself, coin etch bezel, is done in a glossy finish. It almost makes it look like a piece of ceramic. Yes, they're 50 millimeters, and believe it or not, they wear even larger than that, but as with all Ilinis we've come to expect, they are highly, highly curved. 6 payments of $18.33, $294,528.
And right behind that, how about Momo Design? From the Italian design house that is so known for its automotive accessories and customization, whether it's steering wheels or wheels on the car, or whether it's the gear shifter, they love to add, or seats. They love to add their special touch. They can take a Ferrari and make it even more special. Well, when they put their hand to design of watches, here you have a beautiful choice. Look at how simple, classic, and elegant this 38 millimeter women's Mirage with white silicone strap, white dial, and this is just such a classic. Would you wear this?
Yeah, of course I would.
And I love that oversized AM/PM indicator there at the 12 o'clock position that runs from 10 to 2. That looks really good. We'll show you that live in just a moment. Now, speaking of white watches that really stand out on the wrist, how about
gentlemen,
this 46 millimeter Commander? Now, this has diamonds on the dial. It is in white silicone, the dial with gold tone accents. This really reminds me of maybe something that like the Technomarine would do.
Kind of has that really cool look. And the Commander is one of the most popular best-selling Swiss Legend watches of all time. So here we brought out something that's a little bit more fashion-forward. It's on a soft-touch silicone strap, but you've got a solid ceramic case and bezel. And yes, you do have 14 points of diamonds. 205-490-150 for a diamond ceramic watch, gentlemen. I always love seeing this timepiece. 226304, Swiss-made Accutron by Bulova. This is part of their Gemini collection, 42 millimeter case. You've got a Swiss-made automatic chronograph movement inside, day and date complication at the 3 o'clock position, a true guilloche, that means hand-textured dial, elegantly appointed rose tone hour markers that are beveled and mirror polished, gorgeous mirror polishing for your rose tone case. 6 payments of $88.33.
All right. And how about taking a peek at Megan's hot pick?
My hot pick of the night is the 39 millimeter Blue Manta from Technomarine. Now here you are looking at a solid ceramic and stainless steel timepiece. This is a Swiss-made watch all the way around, of course, that features some of the most beautiful diamonds and blue sapphires inside the sides of your case. Now you just picked up a jeweler's loop, and then you passed it over to me, Wiley, to show me how it looked. And I'm not as well versed in diamonds and fine stones as I know you are, but you just gave me a look that was like, wow, these are really nice.
They've done a great job. Now, Technomarine has used very good quality diamonds and sapphires on the case of this watch. They're one that not only visually to the naked eye, but even under a loop, look really, really good. In fact, that's a great close-up right there. I want folks to see that. How close can you get, guys, on this?
Look at this.
Oh, and I hope, if your television is not broadcasting this in high definition, go online, because you can really get a very good close-up from some of our online broadcasts. But they've done such a great job matching up the sapphires. Because sapphires, it's not all the same shade of blue. They can come in multiple shades. You know, if they're and this is such a beautiful, almost ocean-esque blue.
Yeah, just like the name Blue Manta would suggest. It's a Swiss-made watch, 200 meters of water resistance. Believe it or not, your diamond and sapphire ceramic timepiece is also 100% fully capable, willing, and able to go scuba diving with you. Your fixed bangle-style bracelet, you can see it's super curved at the lug area. This whole area right here is fixed, so it's already curved. And then The combination here of ceramic and stainless steel for the bracelet links, that's what you would remove to have the size to your wrist. Bracelet length on here can accommodate up to a 7 3/4 inch wrist. Sapphire crystal, look at the flash of blue around every single one of the hour markers. This watch is exquisite, and as I was talking about last hour, it's kind of funny because I absolutely would wear this watch every day dressed up, and I'd be kind of nervous to take it diving, but Technomarine designs these watches to be worn while scuba diving, swimming, and diving. So you can put this watch on and really never take it off. $2,400 in stores, and as we explained to you, there's a lot of reasons why the Swiss-made watch would be $2,400. But for you, very, very good price. $550, even better though, are the 6 payments. $91 gets it home. Let's just say 92 bucks gets home a watch you will wear and enjoy, and like I said, probably never even need to take off. 290-435.
Now we're going to pull from the Masterpiece collection from Maurice Lacroix. Maurice Lacroix has been building watches since 1889, and in 1975 they jumped in and reinvigorated the brand. And even today they sell 90,000 watches a year.
Oh my God.
And even though, you know, people are asking, how do you sell a $4,000 watch for 70, 75% off? Honestly, it's because the Swiss franc right now, its value as in comparison to the rest of the markets in the world, and the decline in the Asian market for purchasing watches, it's left Maurice Lacroix with, I don't want to say a glut of watches, because you can't, I mean, they're not mass producing the Masterpiece collection. They're more pedestrian, the ones that are not limited edition. These watches, because there are so many out there that would have been sent to Asia or other parts of the world, there just happens to be some great prices. Well, we happen to have the lowest. So if you want to get a luxury in piece before manufacturing begins to meet up with the demand, which that'll send the prices right back up again. Think about oil prices. You want to buy when the gas when the price is way down. Now what you have is the ML159 movement on the inside, and this is the 5-hand configuration. Notice that there are 5 individual hands off that center pin. Now it's a 26 jewel automatic, and you can see the hour, the minute. You also have a sweep hand as well as a hand configured for the day and a hand configured for the date. You have a dual push button deployment, and simply opening that up allows you to see the ML159 movement inside. And even though it's a luxury watch coming from the highest end division, the Masterpiece collection, it still has 100 meters of water resistance. Both Megan and I will attest to you that this bracelet really does meet up to that $4,000 price tag, and at $1,000 you certainly still have a great expectation of how comfortable it's going to feel. The 40mm case is the perfect size for a gentleman or a lady, and the low profile of that case makes it perfect to wear as your everyday watch or a dress watch. Megan, this also qualifies as in my top 10 list of watches that I would wear if I could only have one. In fact, I bought a limited edition Maurice Lacroix 5-hand, so I can tell you it's a very, very reliable movement, and you're going to love this watch. In fact, we'll guarantee it or you send it back. $183 is all it takes to get it home. It's $1,099. Do not hesitate. It's going to be one of your favorite watches. 295842, the Maurice Lacroix 40mm 5-hand.
Now we're going to move on to 2 variations of the Alini Barocas Genesis.
Now, do you have a favorite between the two?
I mean, I love black and rose, but I do like that this silver tone in black is a little bit easier to wear with everything. Because not every guy out there, and I'll lump even gentlemen I know in my own life, like rose or gold tone. So here, if I was going to get a gift for somebody between the two, I'd probably go for the black and silver tone.
You know, at first glance, you're going to assume this is leather. It's actually silicone, and they've used the contrasting stitching in there to make it look like leather. But this is one of those watches that if you did need to head off into the water, don't worry, you've got a watch that can hold up to that. Of course, you know, when you look at that, it's going to give you a lot of the information. Swiss-made movement on the inside.
That's the ISA 2331. That movement has an average battery life of 66 months.
That's unbelievable, because so many of my watches, after about a year, year and a half,
I know.
and they all go out at the same time.
Yeah.
If you're a watch collector, you know that
The struggle.
it is the struggle. It's like a dorm room full of little watch batteries that all go on the same moment of dying. You can make your own illusions there. I can't say any more than that. You know what it was like being in the dorm, and let's just move on from that. 50 millimeter Genesis Vision. I just knew there was sometimes not to visit the girls' dorm. Anyway, I want you to just to take a look. We'll talk later.
That's really funny.
We have like warning signs. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and slip this on. I want you to see how comfortable the watch is on the wrist. And I guess it's kind of hard to see how comfortable. We'll try to describe it to you. The best thing to do is put $18.33 down on your credit card. Let us send this to you absolutely free in the mail, and you can check it out yourself. If you don't like it, we'll pay for it to come back. If you decide to keep it, we're only going to put 5 more payments to total 6 altogether so that you can own this. Look at the 6 o'clock position, and notice there's a bridge there where the 7 o'clock position and the 5 o'clock position are actually hour indices with 2 bolts each, creating a bridge holding the 6 in place. Don't you love that? And it gives you kind of a, I don't want to say an open heart, but it gives you a glimpse inside the watch so that you can see the date wheel, which is expanded. And if you'll notice, the date is actually inside the 6.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Look at that. Isn't
That's
that
cool.
clever?
That is clever.
So you do get to see inside the date wheel, which is kind of a nice peek inside. They don't always do that with quartz movements. This is great. 50 millimeters. I love the fact that they've used these kind of, I guess I'd call them hinges, if you will, that attach from the case to the strap. It's just one more piece that kind of takes up the luxury, as well as having that offset crown. Now, which one did you say you like better, gold or silver?
I personally like the black and rose, but I think the black and silver is the best variation for gentlemen out there who want something that's kind of eye-catching, but maybe not too crazy. But for you crazy gentlemen out there, go for this one, 294532.
Do you like this next watch?
I do like this next watch. You know why I like this next watch?
Why?
Let's see what the graphics say first. It's not a brown pattern dial. It's a leopard print dial, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies out there. You know, I am one of the, and this is not a rare thing to be, I am one of those ladies that views leopard print as neutral.
What?
Leopard print is a neutral. It's classic.
You're going to make a great old lady.
I have an old soul. It has that classic look. You know what? Every lady out there that is watching this show right now, I hope they are agreeing with me. It's okay. We can leave it as brown pattern dial. That just shows everybody out there
all the red hat
that
ladies
men
right
are
now.
doing. That just shows everybody out there that men write the graphics here.
Because it should have been
Because
camouflage.
if Tanya wrote the graphics, she would have written leopard print. I'm going to get in close. I'd like to get in close, if that's okay, on the dial, so that way we can see this. I love leopard print. And you know what? It's not overt in your face. You'll see when we show you this close-up shot that you can just very easily see. It's got a little wild side to it. Do you see that right there? That is your leopard print dial. You can see it's very, very subtle. In some lights, it just almost does look like a dark brown. But look, when the light hits it, can we agree that that is leopard print in there? I got a little something right there, a little smudge. This is a lot of fun. Now, the ESQ by Movado is a Movado brand. It is their affordable sport, luxury, high fashion brand. Hence the fact that you get a timepiece that is all wrapped in a rubberized silicone coating. Even your stainless steel case is wrapped in a rubberized coating. That means it's soft touch, it's easy to wear, and if you're going to wear this watch for what I believe is its true purpose, which is being casual, being sporty, going swimming, wearing it to the gym and what have you.
Or a Swiss safari.
A Swiss safari would be fabulous. This is the kind of watch, I'm just screwing the crown down.
Sure, your bike pack doing that.
This is the kind of watch that you want to have in a rubberized coating. You don't have to worry about scratching it up. You don't have to worry about banging up your timepiece.
Oh, it's soft touch.
It's all soft touch.
Oh, that's nice.
So you don't have to worry about babying this timepiece. I love the fact that it's all done in khaki. We do have a number of wild colors of this timepiece on our website, but I love that this khaki color is a fun neutral. One more thing I want to show you. Your tongue here, it's got a little notch on it, and your keeper has the other piece of that puzzle. When you put this watch on, it now locks into place your strap into the keeper. So that way, you never have to have that tongue sticking out on the other side of the strap. Again, I see it as a great feature if you're wearing this watch while being active. It's a $200 ESQ by Movado, 6 payments of $11.66.
I consider that one of the best values of the program because it's hard to find an ESQ that $11 will get at home. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's your closest touch to Movado you're going to get for that price. Seriously.
277-695. Let's see what other affordable luxury we can get our hands on. 283018, the 38 millimeter women's Mirage from Momo Design. How about this? A $400 Momo for your first payment of 10 bucks. I mean, let that marinate for a minute, ladies and gentlemen. This is a $400 Momo Design for $65. Now, even more than that, your soft touch silicone goes all the way up around the strap and through the case. I like that we're showing this right after the ESQ Movado because it's that same sort of theme. It's that same soft touch silicone that is all the way around the watch. Now here, you're looking at a great size. I call this a Goldilocks size. It's not too big and it's not too small. Very easy to wear. Now, this all-white timepiece has that sporty feminine look to it, but even more than that, look at the crystals that they've set for your hour markers, meant to look like little diamond accents. And of course, they are using Austrian crystals here, the finest quality, so that you do have something that has that high-end look. Now, let's look at that little crescent moon here and go throughout our day. You'll notice that right now we're looking at a moon and stars. What you've actually got on your dial there is a lunar phase application. Believe it or not, this timepiece does have a true moon phase. It's not an animated AM PM. What it is because you're seeing I'm going all the way through 24 hours. If it was an animated AM PM, it would have gone from the moon and stars to the sun. But here, it's a true lunar phase feature that you set one time, and you'll be able to see half moon, quarter moon, crescent moon all the way throughout the month.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's the Momo design. I just noticed the Momo design was actually on the sweep hand. And even though it's an Italian design watch, it still has that Ronda 708 movement in it.
Oh yeah, Momo Design a lot of times, if they don't use Citizen Miota movements, they always use Swiss-made movements, like we have on those Swiss-made mechanicals and whatnot.
I like this. This kind of also looks a little bit like Technomarine.
Yeah, it looks great with what I'm wearing too. Kind of sporty, but still a little dressy. $10. How great is this? You get a watch with a Swiss-made movement, a true lunar phase functionality on there, crystals set to look like diamonds, 50 meters of water resistance. Now you will have to cut the strap on this timepiece, so just keep that in mind, ladies. When you're cutting the strap, cut one side, try it on. Trim the other side, try it on.
Why?
Do each side at a time, because otherwise you'll have one side of the strap that's a lot shorter than the other, and you'll end up with, you know, maybe your buckle somewhere near the side of your wrist bone. 283018, $10.83. This is our end of the year clearance, so take advantage.
All right, folks, I want you to see a big, bold design. This was also one of the ones I considered for my top pick. Why? Because when you have 14 points of diamonds and the ETA G10 211 quartz movement inside for under $150, you have got value. When you have a Swiss Legend that has a 5-year warranty on the movement and a 10-year...
No, this has sapphire.
Have they really put sapphire in this?
The nice thing about Swiss Legends
How?
ceramic watches is that, or tungsten, they give you sapphire. You get that upgrade.
That's amazing to me that we do that. And I say that seriously.
No, I know, it's true.
Have you ever had to have a sapphire crystal replaced on a watch?
No, thank God.
It is like replacing the movement inside the watch. I mean, they value those things like crazy. Remember when the iPhone was going to have a sapphire crystal put all the way across it because they wanted to make it scratch resistant? And then practically nobody, I know you would, but practically nobody, you know, could come up with doing it because it's so expensive. Now, I love this watch because I just love the cleanness of a white watch. And you know, even against what I'm wearing, it pops, it stands out.
You know what's great is you've got the scratch-resistant ceramic here, gentlemen. So this is a watch that the Commanders originally were intended to be those bold diver looks. Now, with the ceramic Commanders, you don't get 200 meters of water resistance. You get 100 meters of water resistance. So great for recreational swimming and diving, just not professional scuba diving. But you've got something that if you are wearing it while being sporty, while being active, you don't have to worry about scratching it up and messing it up. And being that ceramic is non-porous, your bezel, your case, all of that will always stay bright white.
Okay, be honest with me. Do you like it when couples have the kind of the matching watches? Not outfits,
I think
but
it's
like,
kind of cute.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you get matching watches for your boyfriend?
Not with you. Oh. You should just go. You should just go.
I'll go now.
I think it's kind of fun, especially if you're giving a gift to somebody, maybe like your mom and dad or your aunt and uncle, your son and daughter. Well, I don't know. Maybe that would be a little tricky because I wouldn't like the same thing as my sister.
Yeah, I think
That
that's...
might be a little bit weird. Okay, forget that. I don't have children. What do I know? But I like the idea. I mean, I would think it was cute if I saw a couple wearing something like this. I'm sure my boyfriend wouldn't agree, though.
But I like this watch. I mean, both of these really
Absolutely.
look good. Now, what size is that watch you got on? It's
So
37?
yours is a 46
And
that
that's a
wears like a
37.
48. This is actually a 36 that wears like a 38 millimeter because of the extended crown and pusher. So they're actually 10 millimeters difference in size. This will wear like a 38 millimeter. Commanders are some of the most curved timepieces in Swiss Legend's arsenal. And at the time when these first came out, these were the most curved timepieces ever created. Here, ceramic, but notice the bezel itself. You see that flash of gold? That's laser etching on there. All laser etching on your bezel for your indicators. 18 karat gold tone. Now the ladies version has 7 points of diamonds. Again, because it's about half the size. So you got 7 points of diamonds on this timepiece. Soft touch silicone strap. Oh wait, a solid ceramic buckle closure. How nice is that? Even your buckle is done in ceramic.
I love how the gold pops off of the white dial. I mean, this really is just a clean, classic look all the way around. And even though it has 14 diamonds all the way around, it's not overly flashy.
No, not at all.
I mean, you're not dealing
That's
with
what the
something
white watch
that...
is for.
Well, well, have you ever seen just those jewelry kiosks
Yeah.
in the mall where they do the all iced out crystal watch that's trying to look like gold and diamonds, but it really looks really bad?
I always have to keep my eye down when I walk by those kiosks because I always feel so bad, like when they try and like corral you over there.
Well, they
But
also
I understand
have,
they're trying to make a living and they're working like anybody else, and I respect that. But I always feel bad because then I always end up getting roped over there, and before you know it, I'm buying like
Or
some
buying
sort of
a rope
Israeli
gold
like
chain.
hair tool and like this crazy jewelry and like new things for my phone, and I'm like, oh god, I just wanted to go, like to Target.
Well, we don't think you're going to be disappointed with either one of these watches in either style or size. And you're really going to appreciate the quality. In fact, we're going to guarantee you that. You're always shopping with confidence with us. We're watchmakers, watch designers. We want you to be happy. That's why we give you the opportunity to get these watches home free to you because there's no risk whatsoever. So take a look, see what you think. We think you're going to like both of these styles.
All right, well, if you want another watch that is blinged out, much like my hot pick, but a little bit of a different look here. Here, we're talking about another Swiss-made Technomarine. This one, a beautiful blinged out design in a classic 34 millimeter case. So here, what you've got is a 34 millimeter, I'm going to say, wardrobe staple. And you guys know, I say this every show, silver tone watches, ladies, are wardrobe staples. I was even talking to my cousin a couple of weeks ago before Christmas. She was looking to buy a watch. She sent me a photo of a Bulova watch on our website that she really liked, and she goes, could I wear this every day? And it was all silver tone and had some crystals on it. And I said, absolutely, you could dress it up or dress it down. You can wear it with anything. That's how I feel about a style of watch like this. Because think about it. This is the kind of timepiece that if you pair this with your office attire, ladies, if you wear this with your black dress or your blazer top to the office, it looks beautiful. But I have it on with just a casual sweater top right now, and it pairs just as well. I would always recommend for somebody, I know if you're watching the show, chances are you own more than one watch. You love watches and you collect watches, and I'm in your court. But the thing is, for a lot of people out there that maybe are only looking for one watch or looking to get a gift for somebody and just one watch, and they don't know what kind of style to get a lady, I would always recommend a silver tone watch because it's just classic. It's a really timeless design. I mean, we're talking about a Technomarine like this. It's not just a classic look. It's a Swiss-made watch. So automatically, right off the bat, you are getting somebody the best in quality, craftsmanship, and horology, period. You're also getting somebody a timepiece that has a beautiful mother of pearl dial. Now look at that gorgeous mother of pearl all the way around. Absolutely stunning. Now here, you've got beautiful crystals set to look like diamonds all array around your bezel, done in the shape of a wave. I find that to be very, very pretty. And again, part of the aquatic marina style that Technomarine does, having that water inspiration. This is a conservative classic size at 34 millimeters, but look at how classic and generous the bracelet is. You could easily, ladies, have a 9-inch wrist and be very well accommodated. It's also, I want to say one more thing, a 200-meter professional grade diver. So that watch that you could wear with your cocktail dress, you could also wear with your bathing suit. This is a watch that has it all. So those out there looking for that one watch, go with something like this. You will get so much mileage out of it. 238-666, $250 for a $1,600 watch. Ma'am, I thought our Christmas show was good, but this, our end of the year clearance, these prices are crazy.
It's hard to believe that we're actually able to offer everything that we do at the price points that we offer. Now, I want you to look at this Accutron by Bulova. It's a 42 millimeter automatic. And I want you to just notice that configuration there, and it may be giving you a little heads up about the 25 joule automatic on the inside.
Now, this is part of the Gemini collection, which we were talking about last week when we had all those AccuSwiss and Accutron by Bulova watches. These watches were designed to be inspired by the original Accutron designs of the 1960s and 70s.
And you're going to notice that, you know, probably in the 60s and 70s, this would probably be a 34 to 36 millimeter case. We've put it in, well, I say we as if I've been helping Bulova. Is
that what you've been doing?
Yes, in my spare time I go to the factory and cobble out watches. It's the 42 millimeter men's automatic, which puts it in a much more modern size. Now, at first glance, you can look straight on and you're missing all of that texturing that's within that dial. Now, you'll notice that flash of blue you're seeing right there as we catch some of the studio lights is the anti-reflective coating that's on the sapphire crystal. Flipping the watch over, you're seeing that's not just a simple quartz movement on the inside. In this all Swiss-made watch, stainless steel case, of course, water resistant to 50 meters, you happen to have sapphire crystal both front and back, and look at that beautiful 25 joule automatic movement in there. Now, what do you like best about this watch when you see it?
The dial. The dial in this timepiece, of course, is a Swiss-made watch. You've got a Swiss-made automatic chronograph inside. But honestly, the dial texture, the beautiful hour markers. This is a watch, yeah, it looks great with what you're wearing, but this is really a watch that to me is so incredibly stunning. I am, every single time we air these watches from the Gemini collection, just mesmerized by the guilloche or hand textured dials.
Well, and you have a watch that I am hesitant to use the word safe, but if you're looking for a gift for somebody or you're not sure about your own style choice here, please know that this watch is just going to be loved by watch people. But whether somebody is a pedestrian collector or they are truly a diehard watch collector, you have a style that's going to be so embraced. I promise you that. In fact, we're going to guarantee it. So give it a chance at only $88.33 to get it home. Folks, it's hard to believe that we have these values after the holidays, but they're still here. This is our end of the year blowout. So we want to get the vault cleaned out, and the best thing we can do is just send all this stuff to you. So
we've made it to the halfway point of our time together. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a top 10. This is where you're going to be able to see what your best-selling items are, or what our best-selling items are amongst all of your picks out there. And again, because our entire show is a bestseller, this is a great opportunity this weekend for you to pick up a watch that maybe you had your eye on all year long and you just didn't quite pull the trigger on just yet.
Or maybe for the holidays you got some money. People give gifts of money.
I ask for those now. It's funny, I was talking about
for those?
Well, no, I mean, it's funny because
like
when you're a
rolls of
kid,
money?
you know, when you're a kid, you like have this crazy list, right, for what you want for Christmas. And now, as you get older, I know, especially for me, I'm like, oh, I don't need anything, or I don't know what I want.
But cash always
Oh
works.
yeah, cash is king. I mean, just cut me a check. I'm very, very happy. So without further ado, number 10 is.
You know, Ben
No,
and
I
Sons.
have no idea.
This is a great military-style watch, yet there's just something about it that maybe dresses it up just a touch, and it has such an adventuresome feel to it. The 44mm Marshall multifunction with brown leather strap really looks good. The black dial with the black IP plating, this just stands out, and we like this watch a lot. Megan, I know you love Ben and Sons.
Oh, I do.
And this is a watch that either a gentleman or a lady can wear at only $74.99. You have a fantastic looking watch for a fraction of what you would be paying in the retail stores. $12.50 gets it home. You gotta love that. Right behind that, ooh, how is that? We happen to love this design. I do. You know, this is, I believe, the EOgraph.
No, this is a 45
oh,
millimeter.
Look at us.
Look at us
Ooh,
right there.
we have picture in picture.
I like that. I was just putting my thumbs up like that.
I like it that.
Woo! Yosemite Sam. 179599. That's how excited. That's just a little idea.
I didn't even know we had picture in picture.
That, you know what's kind
They
of funny?
apparently didn't know that either. What does this
button
button do? I don't know. Let's
push it.
push
That's a great indicator for everybody out there about how much fun we have even when we're not on camera. This is a 45 millimeter world timer. Yeah, woohoo, thumbs up. I love my job. The light blue dial is called a glacier blue dial. And let me tell you a little something,
This
Wiley.
is the world timer.
This dial, yes, the world timer is awesome, but more importantly than that, this color combo of silver tone with the glacier blue dial, did you know the glacier blue dial is our best-selling dial color in Swiss legend history? This is a watch color that in certain lights has a beautiful baby blue sheen to it, but in most lights has a glacier blue, almost platinum look to it. It is exquisite. Now, as the name World Timer suggests, you use that crown at the 10 o'clock position to set this watch one time, and you have all the major world time zones set up on your dial at any given moment. $80 for your first payment of $13.33, $179,599. It also has the 8172 ISA movement.
And
Number
Megan,
8.
you give that watch 2 thumbs up.
Number 8 is my hot pick, 290435, the 39 millimeter Technomarine blue manta. I'm a lot of fun.
You
Here,
really are.
You've got a ceramic and stainless steel timepiece here, black glossy ceramic with all mirror polished stainless steel. You've also got a combination of diamonds and blue sapphires on either side of your case. Your Swiss made watch, got a little glitter there.
You just,
I
I just
glitter
pointed
on
out,
my
I said,
face.
Megan, you got
Your Swiss made watch features a sapphire crystal and 200 meters of water resistance. I am so thrilled that so many ladies out there are picking this up for themselves. This is going to be a watch that you are going to wear into 2016 and never need to take off. 290435. Congratulations, ladies. Wear it in good health. That's
And we
number 8.
just showed this watch. This is the Accutron by Bulova 42 men's automatic. You're going to love the fact that you not only have that fully functioning chronograph, but also a day and date complication on that guilloche dial, that hand-done dial. That beautiful automatic movement in this all-Swiss made watch is going to last you for years to come. Now, this is kind of an heirloom piece. It's such a classic looking watch that whether you wear this now or your lineage wears it 100 years from now, or you in good health, God bless you, it's going to look great. And at $529, it is a steal. $88.33 gets it home. And right behind that, well, no surprise, because
Number
when we
6.
saw this sitting
Look at you.
inside of there, inside the vaults, it had to just come out. The masterpiece 5-hand collection from Maurice Lacroix, the 40 millimeter case. Sorry, the dentures slip every once in a while. The 40 millimeter case really does fit either a gentleman or a lady. Notice on that center pin, 5 hands running off that center pin. The Maurice Lacroix ML159 movement is a 26 joule automatic, and it still has 100 meters of water resistance. This is a beautiful watch. We love the fact that we can get this to you at a bargain price, almost 70% off the retail. Go ahead and consider that for your collection.
All right, coming in at number 5 is the Swiss made Abyssos. I love this color combination of black, silver tone, and pops of yellow. It has a very, very high-end design to it. This is more than just a professional grade dive watch, ladies and gentlemen. This is a dive instrument with 1,000 meters of water resistance. This is the STP-1-11 Swiss made automatic movement. That's a 26 joule automatic movement inside. And your Swiss made watch also comes in very cool customized packaging as you get a 3-slot watertight watch box to hold your Abyssos and 2 other favorite timepieces. $270 is the total price for a Swiss-made automatic professional diver. You've got a 10-year warranty on the Sapphitech crystal, a 5-year warranty on that STP-1-11 automatic movement. $45, it ships for free. 274-853, that's number 5.
Number 4, the Lucien Piccard 42mm Stellar. And this is a Stellar watch in the brown with a genuine leather strap. The gray dial really does stand out. And I know that you love this combination of gray dial and brown leather strap. It's a combination you don't always see, but there's something very sophisticated, very understated about it. But yet it still stands out. It is such an elegant timepiece, and at only $10 to get it home. You know that it's going to be affordable. Remember, we're going to pay for shipping, and if you're not satisfied with that purchase, we'll even pay for it to come back to us. 234717, and congratulations to all of you who've picked that up. How about the 40? No, this is the
49mm Invicta Pro Driver. I believe this is coming in at number 3.
And this is the Anna Digital. This is the one that has that, I'm going to say, digital crown to it, that just with a simple rotation, just a quarter turn, or even an eighth of a turn, is going to begin to allow you to set it and give you access to so many of the functions within the watch. Those are screw-down pushers, and they're going to activate the functions that are within that digital display at the 6 o'clock position. The two-tone on this is going to make it very easy to fool the eye into believing those are gold center links. They're not. They're simply gold plating, but boy, do they have a $1 million look for only $20 a month. That's right, only $20 gets this watch home. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. 258805 for the Invicta Pro Diver.
Well, of course, the EOGraph is coming in number 2. It is always one of the best-selling Swiss Legend classic on bracelet styles. You've got the ISA 8172 day and date quartz chronograph movement. This all monochromatic silver tone has a great degree of polishing around the bezel, but also has what I call a daily wear bracelet because you've got brushing and mirror polishing for the actual case and bracelet. $80 is your price. Even better, $13.33 will get it home. One of the claims to EOGraph fame, I believe, is the fact that the 46mm case is also incredibly slim. This is a great option for gentlemen out there that want something in a bigger case size, but you don't like always having to wear a big, bulky case watch on your wrist. Here at 46mm, it's very, very easy to wear this timepiece, even with a dress shirt. Now, something I want to make note of is this is an old B-roll shot, because the new movement that we've got is the 8172. This is showing the old ETA movement inside. I love the 8172 that you'll get in the new 46mm EOGraphs, but everything else about the watch is identical. 80152.
And coming in at number 1.
Nice surprise here. Looks like some gentlemen have made a New Year's resolution to be very fashion forward next year.
And be very frugal, because for only $18.33, you're able to get all this style and this brand new design home to you. Now, I think this is an incredible value at $109.99. Even at the $179, that is a very reasonable price for a watch of this quality, but you don't have to pay department store prices. If you did, you'd probably be paying $300 or $400. But take a look. You have that highly textured center part of the dial, and then as you go into the outer chapter ring, where the stylized hour markers are, you are really seeing a great deal of detail within there. Now, I want you to also notice that at the 6 o'clock position, right through the hole in the 6, you're going to see the date complication with that expanded date wheel that allows you to see into the inner workings of the watch. There is also a bridge that is over the 6 that's attaching it at the 7 and 5 o'clock position. You can see that screw down back that's right there. And as you take a peek, that really looks good. Now, you'd also notice that there is a deployant clasp. Even though this is a silicone strap that's on here, you have a deployant, which really does make that a bit more luxurious. Isn't that beautiful? Folks, we are delighted that you've decided to pick that up. And for only $18.33, you're able to get the number 1 seller home to you. 294532, the Lady Barocas 50mm Genesis Vision. Do you like Ben & Sons? You do.
You know I do. Now, the 44mm kernel was a popular item all year long. I'm glad that we brought it back in stock for our end of the year show.
Yeah, this is just one of those watches that
It's great for dressing up or dressing down. I mean, you're wearing a great outfit today. Every watch seems to look really good with what you've got on. But this, you'll be able to see, gentlemen, if you're looking for something that's kind of sporty but still can carry very well at the office, This, that vintage military-inspired design reminiscent of very, very high-end Swiss-made brands, this is great for wearing to the office with a nice button-down shirt.
I love the fact that this watch can dress up, that you could wear this with a suit and tie, because at a distance it's going to look like the leather strap maybe is leather. And then you come in a little bit closer and you go, wait a minute, that's carbon fiber. And then upon closer inspection, you realize that the watch is actually a leather strap with a carbon fiber embossing that is done to it. I think that's really cool. The ISA 8172 Swiss movement inside really does kind of step up the fact that this is not just an entry-level watch, even though the price is, because you're getting a reliable ISA movement. Notice it's a multi-function. You have the sub-dial at the 6 o'clock position is going to give you a day complication. You have a small second sub-dial at the 2 o'clock position. You have a totaler for the chronograph at the 10 o'clock position. And of course, you have a lot of style all the way around. You're really going to appreciate that locked into place bezel has a tachymeter all the way around, which is, again, adding to the sporty flair. You dress it up with a suit and tie, it's ready to roll. You want to dress down with just a button down, you're great. If you want to put on a t-shirt and jeans, you're ready to go. This watch has a lot of versatility, and for $11.66, well, that's just kind of making it easy on everybody. In fact, we think it's stress-free. 251794 will get you the Ben & Sons 44mm Colonel chronograph in black. Consult our website. This also comes in a variety of colors and styles, and we want to make sure you have just the right one.
Coming up right after that, another Alini Baroccas. This, again, you know what's funny is we haven't seen a lot of these watches in a while, and so it's nice that this end of the year show allows us to really revisit quite a few items that we have not seen in some time, and giving everybody the opportunity to pick them up at our closeout price. 186577. Here, you've got a 200-meter professional grade diver with a Swiss-made ISA 8172 movement inside. But this is also one of those watches that, like we have come to expect from Alini, is so much more than meets the eye. What I appreciate about Alini Baroccas watches is the fact that this is the kind of watch that you'll wear over and over and over again, and every time you put it on, you might find something new to discover, because there is always something to see on these watches. You've got multiple textures and multiple levels going on inside your dial. You've got a very interesting configuration for the day of the week sub-dial at the 6 o'clock position, being that this is the ISA 8172. When we come in nice and tight, you'll be able to see that. They've screwed down almost a bridge style or a little horseshoe style right over the 6 o'clock position. We come in a little bit closer.
Oh, the modified bridge on there looks great to be able... Come on, don't be shy. Come on, a little closer.
Look at what they do here. They're highlighting, in this case, the day is set to Monday, just generically set. But notice that there's a little red arrow, so you always know where the day of the week is down at the bottom portion of that modified bridge. Of course, the ISA 8172 gives you a 30-minute short time totalizer. But when I'm starting and stopping my chronograph, look at how cool my pushers are and how they come up slanted at an angle right around the two-piece crown. Now you'll notice it's a little bit harder to see because this is a black timepiece, but the same texturing that they've done around the secondary portion of your crown is the texture that you see inside the dial. You've got a massive multi-piece case design. I'm going to call these little fins. These fins are done in a mirror polishing to be pulled out over the matte bead blasted finish of your gunmetal plated case.
I love the beveled crystal, because sometimes the crystal will be completely flat to the bezel. Look how it's beveled right there and then just raises up. That's a nice design touch.
I didn't even really notice that, which then drives the point home further that this is the kind of watch that you will wear and discover something new every time, because I've been presenting these watches for quite some time and I get to see it like that, and I never even noticed the crystal, so that's cool.
You know, I'm just wondering if Niso Baroccas, the designer of course, the Alini line, as well as, how many is it, 6, 7 other of our design brands that he's in charge of? I wonder if he just pulls his hair out, and he's got a lot of it, that you just go, man, I can't believe they're selling my creation for under $90. With all of this style and design, I mean, look at it. That is a lot of pop for 15 bucks to get it home. Now, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, but notice that because of the curvature of the case and the ability for that strap to just waterfall right down on the wrist, it really looks great. And Megan, you were talking about that fin design. You notice those same sort of lines are mimicked all the way through the strap. It's a great looking watch. 818-6577 will get the Commander home to you, and you're going to really appreciate the quality when you feel it right there in your own living room.
All right, moving on to a Lucien Piccard, the 42 millimeter Bisana multifunction, 280285. Here's a great, classic, easy to wear timepiece that if you want that multifunction, that broken down calendar, has a lot to offer you in a nice slimline design here. Black dial with 4 subdials. Most of the time with multifunctions, we really only get 3 subdials, sometimes just 2. So here, they've given you every single thing you could want. We'll come in closer so we can point out all of those various features there. You've got your calendar date, your calendar day of the week, pretty traditional. But look, you also get the month of the year. And then down here, your 24-hour clock. Notice it's also done at a subdial at the 6 o'clock position. Now you pull your crown just one time and you're able to use this pusher to operate your day of the week. When you put it in, it sets off another functionality. All mirror polishing on your silver tone case and bezel with your Croco embossed black leather strap gives this a lot of versatility and daily wear. I'm just going to lay this over my wrist so you can see that even in a 42 millimeter, it's designed in such a way that it's very, very easy to wear, even on a smaller wrist like mine. The slimline case makes it very, very comfortable. Gentleman or a lady could very easily wear this every day to the office. And I'm just going to pull this off one more time because I didn't want to buckle it down to show you in the instance of time. You've got that great new customized closure. So remember, when this comes to you, all you have to do is just take apart. We're going to show you a close-up shot. You just got to take apart the bottom piece of the clasp. Just use your little fingernails. Very easy there. And then since it's open, you're now able to thread your strap, your genuine leather strap, right through. And then you just hook it down because it's got a little piece on there. Just fit it into whatever hole you think it will match up, clamp it down, and you're done. You know what's great about that? You don't constantly have to pull your leather strap all the time to get it on. Because look, just snap it into place and you're good. It's really going to prolong the life of your leather strap. 280285. As with all Lucien Piccards, you get a 5-year warranty on the movement.
All right, I want you to take a look at the Lucien Piccard 44 millimeter Navano. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the wrist. I want you to see how this piece, which is very, we showed you the, I think it was the brown strap with kind of a gray dial in a similar design as this. But this is a 44 millimeter, and as you take a look at it, you're going to notice something very unusual at those two subdials at the 9 and 3 o'clock position. Now, this watch is a perfect match for what I'm wearing right now, and I think you're going to think it's a perfect match for you as well. As you come in and you look at that very, very textured Côte de Genève dial, you're going to notice that instead of using hands at the 9 and 3 o'clock position for the subdials, they've used wheels. And I think that's really cool. I love when they do this because I'm going to take this off just for a second. I want you to be able to see that when you begin to start the chronograph that's at, locked into place at the 12 o'clock position, you have your 24-hour totaler and your totaler on the subdial at the 9 o'clock that are actual wheels instead of the hands. That looks really cool. 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, you have a continuously operating sweep hand, and you have a date complication there at the 6 o'clock position. Flipping the watch over, you're going to see that high mirror polish on the back, Japanese movement, Sapphitech crystal, 316L stainless steel, and you still have 50 meters of water resistance, even though it is a dress watch. Let me slip that back on the wrist so you can see how 44 millimeters looks on the wrist. I think that looks pretty good. And it does look good with what I'm wearing too. This could be an everyday watch, but because it is a little specific in some of its coloring, it might not be the one that you wear with every outfit, but at this price point of only $18.33, we're making it very easy to get it home. We think you're going to find it to be stress-free on those payments as well.
That's a pretty watch. I really like the colors inside that dial.
Yeah, that's really gorgeous.
Oh, this next watch, the 48mm Night Rally, is a favorite of our director. He's really been adding a lot of watches to his collection. You know, for Christmas time, he bought himself the Swiss Legend Tungsten on bracelet with the red dial.
Oh,
I know,
that's
it must
kind
be
of
nice being a director, huh? Getting all these watches.
Like the James Cameron of watches.
Oh, yes, he is.
We've had a few Titanic shows. Where are the thumbs up, Megan? Oh, that's not the right finger.
Suddenly you look much fatter on camera thanks to him.
Oh,
I didn't mean it like that.
Thanks, Megan. 48mm Night Rally. You know, we love the Red Line collection of watches because they have made super affordable that very sporty watch look. We're kind of like, can I say the discount TW Steel?
No.
Oh, okay, then just take that out in editing. But it is. It's taking some of the design elements you might find with a company like TW Steel.
Absolutely.
Maybe not quite Momo, because that's much more Italian. But it's the racing look. Look at how the knurling and machining that's all the way around the case. Notice how flawlessly this silicone strap matches up to the case and then just waterfalls straight down, because you know that's going to be a great fit on the wrist. There is a weight to this watch. This is not some just kind of cheap metal that's been thrown in there. It's 316L stainless steel, and it's quite a thick case. Screw down back, of course, so that's going to help add to that level of water resistance within the watch. 100 meters of water resistance. So this is the watch you wear to the office, but then again, you want to head out to the beach later or head out boating or fishing. Don't worry, the watch is going to be able to hold up. I love the oversized crown that's on here and the piston style pushers. Now, simply starting our chronograph at the 2 o'clock, you can see our sub-dial kick into play. There's our start, our stop, and then our reset right there. Notice that on the dial, there's that same kind of machining that you see on the case. It's just a great design element you wouldn't expect to find in a watch for under $80. Only $13.33 gets all of this style and design home. Let me go ahead and slip it on the wrist just so you can see how a large, bold 48mm watch looks on the wrist. Now, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and I think that looks pretty good right there. I love the pops of color that you're seeing in the sub-dial at the 9 o'clock position. And even though the watch is a little thick, I think it would still fit very comfortably under a sleeve on a shirt. Yeah, that would fit perfectly. I mean, look at that. That's still enough room that if you had to tug that out, you could. It's not too big. You know, something like the Matador, it wouldn't fit. With this, absolutely. 281691, the Red Line, 48mm Night Rally.
Now, this is a ceramic timepiece that we have not seen in a very, very long time from Swiss Legend. This is a 40mm when you measure it, but on the wrist going to be closer to a 41, 42mm. And that's because it's got a very thick case area. This is for the lady looking for a ceramic timepiece that has a really, really bold design. Now, many of you might remember the Swiss Legend throttle, which was a bold 48mm case for gentlemen. We had it on silicone strap, on ceramic bracelet, on stainless steel bracelet, and then about a year ago, we came out with the ceramic throttle for the ladies. What's nice about it is even though it's a very big, bold design, it's all done in a streamlined construction. So the entire thing perfectly flows from one piece to the next. You'll notice even on the oversized case, there's no sharp edges. It's a very easy watch to wear. I'm a huge fan of ceramic. I love ceramic timepieces just based on the fact that I can wear them with everything. These are the kinds of things that you really can wear and never, ever, ever need to baby. Ceramic watches can be worn in chlorine, in salt water. You could spill coffee or tea or red wine on your ceramic timepiece and it wipes perfectly clean. Of course, because it's a ceramic timepiece from Swiss Legend, you get a sapphire crystal on there. And what's amazing about this is if you're a little bit clumsy like me, you're able to wear a watch that you don't have to baby, and I appreciate that. Think about the fact that you're going to make an initial $100 investment or even a 1666 payment, and yet you're going to have a watch that 5, 10, 20 years from now is always going to look brand new. It features an ISA 2331 Swiss-made movement with a 5-year warranty. You've got genuine superluminova for all of your hour markers and the tips of your hands, so very, very generous bit of lume there. $213-516, $16.66 gets this watch home. Now, it seems funny because in such recent times, we've got so many new Swiss-made Swiss legends. But we're going to take it back to the very first of the Swiss-made Swiss legends, coming at you right now.
Oh, I think that looks beautiful. Now, this is a watch that, it's been around with us for a little bit of time, but it's established itself as one of the ones that, you want to discontinue and move on. No way. The folks say, we want more of these, so we make a few more. Take a look at this 43 millimeter altitude chronograph. As you come in even closer on that dial, you're going to see all of that texturing. Maybe when you look at it at first, you're going to see it as looking flat, but capture it in just the right light and look at how it pops it back with all of that stippling, all of that machining that's been done. You have 3 subdials there, and because it's a multifunction, it's not just for the chronograph. You have a day complication, a date complication, a small second subdial at the 2 o'clock, and a totaler for the chronograph. Now, you'll notice that the case creates a natural buffer around the pushers, so they're slightly recessed. Hitting that right there is going to start and stop at the 2 o'clock, and our reset at the 4. Notice what it says at the 6 o'clock position, Swiss made. You're getting an awful lot of watch for $169.99. 316L stainless steel, water resistant to 100 meters. And of course, you have sapphire crystal, not Sapphitech, sapphire. Now, I happen to stand behind our Sapphitech crystal, but knowing that it has sapphire, it takes all of the doubts away, and you know what you're getting immediately. So if you're not sold on Sapphitech, I know you're going to love the sapphire. Look how well that looks on a 6 3/4 inch wrist. It really does stand out. Low profile, classic configuration, and only $28.33 to get it home. $169.99. That's the total price, and we even have free shipping. 279147. Please consider the 43 millimeter altitude. And now, one of the boldest color combinations, because
I love this color combination. It is so gorgeous.
That blue perfectly matched up with that ceramic bezel.
It's amazing how they're able to do that with 2 completely different materials.
Well, you think about in the printing world, Pantone.
Yeah.
How you have to match things up perfectly. Here's 2 different materials that just happen to miraculously come out identical in color. Yeah, that's a lot of planning. That's not an accident, folks. Now, Megan is going to tell you the shape. It's a
dodecahedron.
You just make that up. It's a dodecahedron.
Dodecahedron.
Sounds like a Bond villain. The 48 millimeter blue Genève really does look good. Now, I love that blue dial and then that perfectly matched blue ceramic bezel, because the moment you look at it, you're going to think, yeah, that looks great now, but when is that going to flake off? Don't worry, that blue is solid through and through with that ceramic bezel. And of course, as you come in and you look at that dial, you can see all the texturing that is there, and then the great red shield from the Swiss Legend logo. I think the watch looks really good. Now, notice that you have a high mirror polish on that bracelet, and there's a generous amount of that bracelet all the way around. You'll also notice there is a dual push button, dual scissor deployant, which is going to make this easy to go off and on the hand. You have a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, the sweep hand. You have 3 additional subdials, as well as a date complication between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. I think this watch, it's brand new, should be selling at $400, but we're able to get it to you right now for $189.99. Piston style pushers, oversized crown, and again, that generous amount of bracelet. Only $31.67 gets this watch home, and that is a bargain when you consider that there's free shipping on this watch. All right, folks, hard to believe we're already
in our third hour.
I know.
Kind of crazy. All right, this is our Saturday night show, the last Saturday night show of 2015. Can you believe that?
That's
Did you have a
amazing.
nice Christmas yesterday?
It was wonderful. You're spending time with family and friends, and we do a kind of a lot of stuff on Christmas Eve, so that was nice. But then being able to have Christmas Day, I go over and spend time with my nephew and his family.
Oh,
It's
that's
just it's
nice.
good. And
That's
you
wonderful.
got plans for New Year's?
Yeah, I'll be here the next day. What am I going to do?
I have suggestions.
I get crazy every day of the year. I don't need New Year's Eve.
That's right. Speaking of crazy, how about some crazy low prices as we're doing the end of the year blowout? Still on 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We're heading into our very last hour. But don't worry, we have saved the best for last. So you're going to find some great values there. And go ahead, spoil yourself, splurge. You got a little extra Christmas money, throw it our way, and we'll send you a really nice watch.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe if you already finished paying off all of your Christmas presents that you got everybody, it's time
Don't
to
talk
treat
about
yourself. Well, if you use stress-free payments, you're okay because
that's
you're
good.
paying a fraction
And
every
no
month.
interest.
That's right. I love the fact that everything is on 6 stress-free payments. For me, I always try and shop, whether it's for myself or on gifts, on a budget. And the stress-free payments allow you to do a couple different things. You can put it towards maybe a bigger ticket item, or you can break up that budget and get a number of different items. So it's all about that strategy. We're going to jump into a preview, show you what's coming up in your third and final hour with us tonight.
Oh, we happen to like this. This is a good-looking watch, and certainly for under $120, how about a watch that really does stand out because it's so functional? The multifunction on this with 4 sub-dials really gives you a lot of information at a glance. This is a super smart watch without being a smart watch, because you're getting so much information at just a glance on the dial. Such a classic configuration with those stylized Arabic numerals, the stylized hands, and probably one of my favorite combinations, that silver tone dial. This is just such a classic look. We're going to be showing you more of this live in just a moment. So tune into this one. You need to see this one on the wrist. It looks great. 288885. And how about something with a lot of bling?
I do love this watch.
Why is this a lady's watch at $40? Can a gentleman
Well,
wear this?
I mean, the crystals, I think, make it a little feminine, in my opinion.
Haven't you seen luxury watches?
Yeah, that's true, with all
With
the diamonds
diamonds.
on them. This is always my favorite color combination, the two-tone with the cobalt blue sunray dial. Michael Kors really did it so well here. What's also nice is the crystals, the shape of them, the way they're set into that bezel and set as your hour markers meant to look like diamonds. This is one of those Michael Kors that really does simulate a high-end luxury watch, because look, they even give you the 2 windows for the date wheel at the 12 o'clock position, something you would see on a very high-end watch. You have a Japanese VD53 quartz chronograph movement inside, 316L surgical grade stainless steel. $40 gets this beauty home. This is a $400 Michael Kors that we've got for $240. 283056.
And how about the Swiss Legend 45mm World Timer? This chronograph really is a standout. You'll notice there is an additional crown there at the 10 o'clock position. That is for your internal rotating bezel. That's really very clever. It's also a world timer, which means if you happen to be that globetrotter like a Megan, then you're going to really appreciate being able to have this watch at such a value price. Can you believe that? All the way down to $79.99. You're also going to love that light blue dial, which this does not do it justice on here. Wait till you see that in person. So much better. We love that. 179599 will get you the world timer home.
All right, another Swiss-made Blue Genève. This is the 38mm case size. We've got 4 different case sizes of the Swiss Legend Blue Genève. Here, item number 287834. We're going to move on. This is actually not the right graphic for the video shot because the 38mm is a multifunction. I believe this is a 48mm.
That's the
Blue
larger
Genève.
version.
This is the largest size with the Swiss ISA 8361 movement inside. Moving on, we're going to do a quick mention of my hot pick here. This was the number 8 out of 10 bestsellers tonight. 290435, 39mm blue manta. Diamonds and sapphires on your Swiss-made watch, ladies. black, high-tech, high-grade, scratch-resistant ceramic, a curved bangle-style bracelet, which means it's oversized but curves around the wrist like it was made for you. I have worn this watch many, many times on the show tonight. You have been able to see how stunning this watch is, and truly take my word for it, you are going to be in love with this timepiece. It's Swiss-made. It's also a professional-grade diver, which means there isn't a single thing you could do on planet Earth that this watch wouldn't be able to go there with you. $550. Take advantage of the payments. No need to break the bank. $91.67 gets it home. You lock that in at $91.67. When the price goes up tomorrow night from $550 to over $1,400, you're still going to be paying $91 and change every single month, interest-free. $2,400 is the list price on this watch, by the way. $290,435.
And my selection is going to be the Maurice Lacroix 40mm 5-hand from the Masterpiece collection. You notice from that single pin in the center of the dial, you have 5 hands branching off there. The hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand, as well as an additional hand for the date complication and an additional hand for the day. Easy to read and truly a masterpiece with the ML159 automatic movement. That's a 26 joule automatic. And even though it is a luxury watch, it has 100 meters of water resistance. You're going to really appreciate how well this watch functions. And at 70% off its retail price, well, you're going to be delighted. An incredibly comfortable bracelet on this watch. Sapphire crystal, both front and back for the exhibition back and for the crystal covering the dial. And one of the most comfortable bracelets you're going to find on a watch. $183.33, $1,099. It is a bargain for a masterpiece watch from Maurice Lacroix. Now, let's go to a slightly different price point. I don't think even our beauty shot does justice to this watch like seeing it here in the studio or there on your wrist at home. And for only $20, we'll send this to you. That's your first of 6 stress-free interest-free payments. But you know, you have 30 days after you purchase that you could send this watch back. If there was something you didn't like about the watch, you could certainly send it back and we'll pay for it to come right back to us. Take a peek at this watch and look at all the style that is locked within that dial. You know, if you start from the outer chapter ring, you'll notice that even though the watch is a luxury feel to it, they still put every second on that outer chapter ring so that if you did want to use that sweep hand to count, you know, very, very accurately down to the seconds, they're right there in little tiny indices. You can see them right here. So the detail certainly is within it. I want you to see the 3-hand configuration of the hour, the minute, and the continuously operating sweep hand. Notice that our minute hand has the ability to make those minute configurations. You have a 24-hour indicator, you have a date complication, you have the small seconds, and a day complication. The stylized Arabic numerals all the way around the dial really do look great. And you can see that those are hand applied. Notice they're 3-dimensional. I mean, that's not just painted on. Those are hand applied to the dial. And you have this rope style configuration that goes all the way around. It's kind of a cross between a rope and a coin edge. Notice that on the onion style crown, that it really does add another design element. And look, no other pushers on the watch. So everything on this watch is operated through that crown. I think that's very clever to keep the watch look very clean. High mirror polish on that bracelet all the way around. And I think you're going to appreciate that shine in the 316L stainless steel. Notice that you have a dual push button single scissor deployant, and there is the Lucien Piccard logo right there on that clasp. This is a watch that you think it looks good on the hand. Let me show you this 45mm Potenza on the wrist. Even though I have a small wrist, I have a large hand, so by having that push button deployant, it's very easy to slip this watch on. And look how that looks. This looks really good. Now, this comes in other colors, styles, and varieties, so consult the website. If the silver isn't doing it for you, please know that we don't have time to show you everything that we have. So take a peek at the website. I'm sure we're going to have just the right one, and we're still going to honor that 6 stress-free interest-free payments and that price of $119.99, unless it probably has the gold plating, and that might be maybe a little bit more. $2888885, and you're going to be able to get the 45mm Potenza multifunction home to you. I think that looks really, really good.
Now, if you're going to get the his, you've got to get a beautiful hers. Beautiful 27mm La Belle from Lucien Piccard. We use Austrian crystals for all of the hour markers and around the bezel, so they really do look like diamonds. You've got a beautiful white dial, just a flat white dial there that really allows the crystals to shine there. All silver tone for your case, bracelet, and bezel, and all done in a high degree of mirror polishing. As I always have said, the silver tone watch is the wardrobe staple, ladies, and something like this in a classic size you'll be able to wear for years to come. 296139. Here's another variation of the label that I have on my wrist right now. Everything on this one is done in that warm and inviting rose tone. Here now you'll be able to see close up how that flat white dial really pops against all of those crystals. So here you've got 12 individual crystals set to look like diamonds for your hour markers. Then you've got more crystals set in the bezel framing that dial. The scratch-resistant Sapphitech crystal that is our company's proprietary crystal. All 18-karat rose tone done in a beautiful mirror polishing all the way around. Bracelet length generous enough to accommodate nearly an 8-inch wrist. And the size at 27 millimeters is that true classic size. So this is perfect for the lady that is looking for something sophisticated. What I also think is because it's in such a petite size, it really does look like a solid gold and diamond watch. That's not to say that a watch that's larger than this wouldn't also look like a real gold and diamond watch, but something this petite really does, to me, take on that true look. 296141, $89.99. Even better are the payments, $15 gets this watch shipped to your door for free. Remember, our holiday return policy is still in effect, so you can purchase your watches now and still have until January 31st to reconcile all returns. You always get a full 30-day money-back guarantee, but because it's the holidays, we're feeling a little bit more generous, and we're giving you until January 31st. But of course, that's also because if you have been buying anything else for gifts, know that if you gave them as gifts yesterday, you can still have those returned. 2830560. So it looks like it's not just Wiley that wishes this was also available for gentlemen. Our director likes this watch too. And you know what's nice about it is this is that color combination. We see it a lot on Breitling. We've seen it on Rolex. That two-tone that we would see of either gold and silver tone or rose and silver tone with that cobalt blue dial. I love when watch manufacturers create this. Even earlier in the show tonight, we had a two-tone watch with the cobalt dial, the 49mm Invicta Pro Diver. It just has that luxury look. Now here, the two-tone is 18-karat rose and silver tone. Your 40mm case is a nice slimline design, but more than anything, the beauty lies in the dial and around that bezel. Underneath that mineral crystal, you've got a Japanese chronograph quartz movement. It's the VD53 quartz chronograph movement. The luxury look with the fully functioning chronograph. When I move that sweep hand, notice that they use two independent date wheels to show off the date at the 12 o'clock position. This is one of the only Michael Kors collections, and certainly the only I've ever seen, that does the two windows for your date. You've got 8 individual crystal set for your hour markers meant to look like diamonds. And then, when you move outwards to your bezel, notice all of the beautiful crystals that are applied there as well. In addition to all of that, even on that gorgeous cobalt blue sunray dial, notice that you've got the tachymeter scale running around that dial. Most of the time you see it on the bezel or on the inner dial ring. This is actually stamped onto the beautiful blue dial. Single fold deployant closure. When I slide this onto my wrist, you'll be able to see what a gorgeous presentation. I actually think it tends to wear a little larger than 40mm because you do have a slimline bezel design. And what's interesting is that the bezel design itself is encrusted with crystal, so it reflects the light even more. So you've got a wide dial opening that really makes it appear as though you've got a much larger watch on the wrist. But what's nice about that is you can have something that looks bigger but fits very, very comfortably. Let's get one more close-up shot so we can see that beautiful dial in action. Look at that right there. Look how slim it is. Even on my 6-inch wrist, it wraps around without any gapping or spacing. And the bracelet length can easily accommodate up to a 9-inch wrist. Now, ladies, normally I talk about a watch if it has any gapping or spacing that you want to just keep that in mind for yourself. But because Michael Kors watches are designed to be so oversized, and they're called that quote boyfriend trend, the boyfriend style watch. It's okay if you're comfortable if there's a little bit of gapping or if it looks a little big and chunky, because that's the point. That's how Michael Kors popularizes their watches. I mean, a lot of ladies wear the 44 and 46 millimeter Michael Kors chronographs. So this is really quite stunning, huh?
It's a good-looking watch. You know, there is a Maurice Lacroix that you happen to like.
Yeah,
that
the
has
Miros.
yes, and that's going to be a little bit higher. So if you want to have all that look of a very high-end watch, and certainly this is, you know, Michael Kors is really stepping up.
Not cheap. It's very expensive to buy in retail. Here's the great thing.
$400.
I know I've made jokes about this before, but don't ever go to a department store and pick up a Michael Kors watch or a Technomarine or Glam Rock watch. I'm speaking about all those ones you would see in department stores. Because we have them on our website and on the show, and we have such ridiculously low prices, plus the stress-free payments that you're always able to get really amazing things. It's like we are ruining people from retail.
Well, we both have a
to think so.
reaction when somebody goes, "Oh, I just bought a new watch," and you want to hear them say, "And I got it from Wow."
Yeah.
But when they go, "Oh, I went to the mall," and we just go, "Oh,
no.
I'm so sorry." Can you save the receipt?
271-455. Nixon watches are all about having fun. Here, what we've got is a 4220. That's the name of the collection. 42 for the case size. It's a 42 millimeter. 20 for atmospheres. It's a 200-meter professional grade diver. You can even see on the case back. Something fun Nixon always does is they always give these different names or little like subtitles, if you will. This one says minimize on the case back there. You can see it is the rubber 4220. Now that is a stainless steel case back, and you do have a stainless steel case and bezel here. However, it's all wrapped in that rubberized coating. You're looking at the watch and you're wondering, something looks off. It's a left-handed configuration. This timepiece actually would look better like this, right? This is the traditional way you would see this watch. Crown and pushers and the subdials. Because it's a left-handed configuration and your crown and pushers are set on the opposite side, or the 9 o'clock side, if you will. I'm unscrewing these so I can show you. That means your movement is inside the watch. Your Miyota movement is inside, upside down. So notice when I start and stop my chronograph, after I unscrew my pushers, because this is a dive tool, it actually would use the bottom pusher to start and stop, and the top pusher to reset. Of course, traditionally, it would be this way. I really appreciate that because I like things that are a little bit different. Now, here's what else is so cool about this. If you're a lefty like me, now you can easily access your crown and pushers without having to kind of maneuver your wrist in an awkward way. Of course, if I'm wearing, because I am a lefty, so I always wear my watch on my right wrist, so it's always kind of awkward to adjust the time or do anything with the crown or the pushers while the watch is on my wrist. As a lefty, now everything will be easily accessible from the outside. Everybody out there that's a righty, about 90% of the world, keep this in mind. Left-handed configuration watches are actually even better for you because now the crown and pusher will be over here. It won't be digging into the back of your wrist. Not to say you're going to walk around like this, but of course it's just a little something to know that
If you're surfing and you go to stand up on your board.
yeah, you don't want that pushing into your wrist.
Correct.
So once again, lefties, we get the short stick. 271-455. $100. Nixon watches are really expensive. $375, and yet it's $100 here and 6 payments. 236-794. Quick mention here of perhaps the most affordable watch of the night, other than that Redline Torque Sport Quartz. Here you've got a classic 40-millimeter case on that stainless steel mesh bracelet. Black dial with silver tone hour markers, but the nice thing is your silver tone hands do have some lume on the center chapters of them, so you're able to tell the time even after dark. Your 40-millimeter case is also incredibly slim. You've got that great flexible stainless steel mesh bracelet, and talk about flexible, look at the price. $6.67 for a $400 rotary.
Most popular watch brand in all of Great Britain. It's also the watch brand that Benedict Cumberbatch wears when he plays Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, right.
He wears
that's
a rotary.
right. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
We're going to do a show with movie and TV watches.
I would love that.
Would that be fun? I mean, people should send us messages about that at some point, about what watches would you want to see. Because we've figured out what watches they wear on The Walking Dead. And
Kenneth Cole.
how do you know that off the top of your head?
Well, I watch the show. It's like my favorite
Wow.
show, other than World of Watches, of course. There's a lot of drama here too, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, they have
but
no
Walking
idea.
Dead turns it up. $179,599. Now, we got to go right to the live shot of this watch because it looks more platinum in that beauty shot there, but this is what we call the Glacier Blue. This is the most popular dial color Swiss Legend has ever designed.
And as they come in even closer in just a moment, hopefully as the light catches this just right, realize that when we photograph the watches, they're under studio lights. When we're here filming, the studio lights can sometimes wash out the color. You have no idea how bright it is in the studio. Not necessarily bright in the control room, but always at... they're looking... Sorry, they're...
Shots fired.
Yeah. Where are the shots? They've been fired. When you see the close-up, you realize that there really is a great, beautiful ice blue that is within that dial. In fact, it's one of our most popular colors of dials. The 45mm World Timer. Now, take a look at this additional crown. Now, why do we have that? Because there is an inner rotating chapter ring inside. Ooh, let's see if I can get focus on that. There we go. Look at that. You can pick any spot in the world and you can know what time there is. Every zone is represented, and simply by rotating, I mean, you're a world traveler, you've got friends around the world. So I've got, folks right now that are traveling cross country. You can simply know what time it is at a mere twist of that crown. You also have two additional pushers for the additional multi-functions that go on with that watch. This is going to start our chronograph, which is locked into the 12 o'clock position. Start, stop, and of course reset right there. You have a day complication, a date complication, a small second subdial at the 2 o'clock, a totaler there at the 10 o'clock, all within that beautifully designed case. I love the high mirror polish. I'm going to slip this on the wrist. This is a large watch. I don't know why this feels a little larger than 45. Maybe it's the additional crown sticking out, because when you look at the crown up here, the additional crown as well as the pusher, it kind of stretches the eye just a touch. So it makes the watch look a little bit larger. Now as we switch to that closer shot, you can see that blue in there just a little bit better, and I think it looks really, really good. Folks, you can get this watch home for only $13.33. It's $79.99. But that's only $13.33 to get it home. We feel very good about this watch, and we feel like you're going to feel pretty good too once you touch it, see it, feel it, and know that it's exactly how we're describing it. 179599, the Swiss Legend World Timer.
All right, 142858. We're going to start with two Neptunes here. The first one is going to be the 44mm size. You've got a quartz movement inside. It is the ISA 2331. Many people know the Swiss Legend Neptune as they have been around for quite some time. These are just straightforward, easy to wear fashion sport watches. Now, the 44mm, when I started here about 3.5 years ago, was the smallest size Neptune available. In the past few years, they have actually come out with an even smaller size, a 40mm. I still prefer the 44mm size because it wears smaller on the wrist. Your eye actually goes just to the bezel, not to the extended silicone wrap case around it. But here, you'll also notice that it's an incredibly curved timepiece. So it really will fit even a much smaller wrist than mine very well. These are those watches where you're getting somebody a gift or you're getting something for yourself that you just want for vacation. No muss, no fuss. You want something you can put on, go to the beach, go to the gym. That's what the Neptunes are all about. What's nice is they have so many different color variations to choose from on our website. So in this one, the gunmetal in gray, if you like it, go for it. But what's nice is we actually have over 300 different Neptunes to choose from on our website. You can see that the dial does blend in to the hour markers, but you do have a diver style dial as signified by the circles and triangles. What's nice, all of those and the hands are filled with charcoal superluminova. So even though it all blends together as being gray or gunmetal, it will stand out against the dial after dark. Unidirectional rotating bezel with 100 meters of water resistance. It's a recreational swimming and diving capable timepiece. Soft touch silicone strap. We're seeing a lot of watches tonight that have stainless steel cases wrapped in silicone. Great if you're looking to get a watch for a vacation coming up or something that you want to wear to the gym. Also, with $6.67. Keep in mind, you always have free shipping around here. So this is one of those kind of funny ways where you could actually watch a show, pick something up for $6, and don't ever pay any more than that every month. 142858. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, here's the 52 millimeter with the Swiss-made automatic movement inside. 146682. This one, more money, of course, because you've got a Swiss-made automatic movement, but you also have a watch that comes with an automatic watch winder. So this is a great set. I love the automatic watch winder because it also doesn't just wind your Neptune, it will wind any watch up to 52 millimeters in size. 6 payments of $21.67. 146682 is the item number here. This one all blacked out, again, with the charcoal numerals, and that is what we call our pilot style dial. All right, 146682. Now, we've seen a lot of blue Geneves over the past few weeks on this show that were the larger sizes, the 46 and 48s. I'm glad we have something in the smallest size, 38 millimeters, because this shows the range that the collection comes in. And I'm really glad to be able to present one because all night I've been talking about how much I love the two-tone of rose and silver tone with that gorgeous cobalt blue ceramic dial, ceramic and dial. Now here's
look
the thing.
at that.
The 38 millimeter size, we get mother of pearl. In fact, the 38 and 42 millimeter sizes get mother of pearl in the dials, while the 46 and 48 get just a colored dial. This is a painted mother of pearl dial. Remember, as I talked about last weekend on the show, when you are looking at a painted mother of pearl dial, it's not the top side here that's painted. It's actually the underside of the dial that they paint. So when you see color on a mother of pearl dial, you're actually looking at light penetrating through the dial and reflecting off the back undersided painted side. How fabulous is that? And notice how amazing. You can even see little pops of turquoise in there. Matches up beautifully with the ceramic bezel insert. I love that you have a ceramic bezel insert and a 10-year warranty against scratching the crystal. That means the entire top part of your watch, you don't have to worry about scratching. Rose tone for your crown and pushers. Your dodecahedron, which is the shape of your case there. It's got that nautical design, inspired, as you can see, by maybe a Corum or a Hublot timepiece. Easy to wear on the wrist, push-button dual deploying clasp. 38 millimeters is a great size, ladies, if you want something big, but not something that's going to be too big and bulky. You can see the way it wraps around the wrist. Very, very easy to wear. Now, the movement inside is a multi-function. The bottom pusher, actually, we'll come in close so you can see. The bottom pusher is a 24-hour AM/PM indicator, but you can also offset it to be a secondary time zone using a 24-hour clock. Your top pusher sets your date at the 3 o'clock position, and when you pull the crown one click, you can set the day of the week. I'm a big fan of this watch. I also love that it's available on our website, again, in 4 different sizes, and we have a silicone strap model, so check that out as well. 287-834, $30. You are at $1 a day with a Swiss-made watch that is also a 200-meter diver. Now, another ladies' watch that I was joking earlier before the show and during our first hour preview, I was saying this could technically be considered my secondary hot pick of the night, the 38 millimeter Legacy. The Legacy, much like the Blue Genève, is a Swiss-made Swiss legend, but I like this, and this is Niso Barocas, our creative director, looking out for the ladies, as how the Blue Genève gets mother of pearl in the lady sizes. The Legacy in the lady sizes is the only one you'll actually get diamonds on. So you actually get about 14 points of diamond accents set into that bezel there. So this 200-meter diver, this fully functioning Swiss-made watch with a Swiss-made chronograph multifunction movement, also has diamonds and mother of pearl. It's interesting how this is the exact same size as that Blue Genève, and yet for some reason, to me, this watch looks larger. You once again get a gorgeous mother of pearl dial on there. You got the rose tone hour markers. This is nice. I know my director likes this watch a lot. When we come in closer, let's take a look at this mother of pearl. We're calling it gray mother of pearl, and I think that's pretty accurate. Let me just screw that down. I think that's an accurate way to describe it because it almost has a slate gray look to it. But notice how the colors are all popped out when the light hits it just right. You can see those little diamond accents around the bezel there. And this is the kind of watch that even from a distance, you can see that dial and those mother of pearls.
Did you know that mother of pearl is not the same as pearls itself? You know, realize mother of pearl is that inner coating of the mollusk or the clam or the oyster, and it takes 15 different artisan steps to make mother of pearl, and it takes between 4 and 6 weeks before it's ready to go into a watch.
Really?
And mother of pearl has its more expensive price because unlike a pearl, which has a thickness to it, it's a thin layer and it is very delicate. Now, once it's placed in there, it's safe inside your watch. You don't have to worry about the care of it. It's sealed inside of there. But imagine the 15 steps in the 4 to 6 weeks just to have that nacre ready to become a dial.
I want to get one more look at this timepiece so you can see one more close-up of the mother of pearl. It's so gorgeous.
Beautiful.
This is another one of those watches I know I've been talking about. There's a couple watches that I need to get myself next month, or I guess in a few weeks when it is, or in a few days when it is next month. This is one of those watches I'm going to want to pick up for myself because it's a 200-meter diver, Swiss-made watch. So come January, you guys are going to see a lot more Swiss legends. And again, that Alini Broca spirit I like so much. 289-550.
The mother of pearl also can be either painted or lacquered or varnished to give that color. So sometimes when we're talking about painting, sometimes that's actually a varnishing technique or a tinting technique which allows the iridescence to still come through. Absolutely beautiful. Delighted to offer that to you.
All right, coming up right after that, 206-069. Can you believe, Mr. Lowe? Feel it?
That watch is
Weighs
big.
next to
That's like a weapon.
Do you feel how lightweight it is?
It actually is. It is. The moment you see
Grade 5 titanium.
you pick up the watch, you look at it, and I'm going, that's got to weigh a ton.
Yep.
But that's all titanium. You think about aircraft, particularly military aircraft, the tubs. You know, the A-10 Warthog, which is one of our very powerful warplanes, the pilot actually sits in a tub made of titanium because it is far more flak resistant and bullet resistant. Well, here's a watch made of that material. You're talking about tough, but it's also incredibly lightweight. I mean, this is unbelievable that it is so light. And here you are with a watch made from that material. Oh, let me hold that right there so they can get even closer.
That's grade 5 titanium, yeah, with black PVD. You know what PVD is.
I do. That's powder vapor deposition, which is a way of coating the metal so that it is layered in such a way that it's permanently bonded. Don't think about this wearing off. It becomes a part of the watch. Now, the only other watch that we have that has had grade 5 titanium has been the Jean Richard Aeroscope. And that's incredibly expensive. Let me flip that over so you can read right there. That is unbelievable. Swiss quartz chronograph movement inside, of course, Sapphitech crystal. So what does that mean? It means with that movement, 5-year warranty. Sapphitech crystal, 10-year warranty. And then there's those magic words, the titanium case and water resistant to 200 meters. Why does it have 200 meters of water resistance? Because that case is going to be tougher than steel, but incredibly lightweight. You think about the racing industry, the automotive industry, the aircraft industry, all using this uber lightweight material. And here you're able to find it in your watch case. Not for $1,500 or even more expensive for the Jean Richard. I'm finding this hard to believe. I really thought this was going to end up being one of the higher end brands.
It usually is on, well, the price-wise, it usually is, but being that this is our last chance of 2015, we've really reduced the price. We didn't even have these available last weekend for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we've done this under $90 with that titanium case. That's remarkable. Super large at 46 millimeters, but super light. And of course, a multifunction. There's your date complication, your day complication. You have a small seconds at the 2 o'clock and then a totaler at the 10 o'clock. All of this in a style that, well, is going to far belay that $15 price to get it home. That's $15. That's your first of 6 stress-free interest-free payments, all to get the Swiss Legend Commander, can you believe it, in titanium.
That's 50 cents a day.
Well, yeah.
Think about, like, you can clean out your couch cushions and, like, save 2 quarters a day and you can afford this watch in titanium.
Folks, do not let this one get away from you. Again, 206069. I'm pretty happy with what they're offering here because that's really unbelievable.
Two different versions or two different styles of Ben & Sons watches coming up right now. This first one, I want you to try this on with your shirt because I want to make a point that, gentlemen out there, if you mix black and brown together, it looks nice if you're wearing something like, okay, with what you're wearing, you would maybe default towards a black strap watch, right? Because you've got the black and red shirt on. But when you've got a watch that's got black and brown, I like that it takes a high fashion look. And notice how nice this looks.
Well, and not to get too fashion-y, but I mean, if someone was wearing a brown belt and brown shoe and then they had that brown accessory on the watch, suddenly you've pulled it all together. And here is something that's as much as a fashion piece as it is a timepiece, and at $84, you're probably a collector out there. You might have more than one watch. If you do only have one watch, this is a great selection too. It is very versatile because it dresses up depending on what you're wearing, but there's certainly a sporty flair with those pops of color on the dial. You'll notice the high curvature of that crystal, the black IP plating on the case, and look at how perfectly, I mean, you want to talk about perfectly matching up the leather to the case. Now, you understand there is metal in here. This isn't just leather that's been cut and folded. There is a metal piece that's within this that's holding that shape, so don't worry about over time it's going to pull away and look cheap. Not at all. You're also going to notice that there is beautiful stitching that's running down that leather strap. And there's a generous amount of strap if you have a much larger wrist than I do. And I don't even have it put on the tightest configuration. Now, Megan, I know that there's a great deal of collectors out there that love Ben & Sons watches. Is this going to hit that button for a lot of folks?
I think so. I certainly hope so because I really like the color combo and then the ease in which the chronographs, you're able to access those. Also, the VD54 is a Japanese movement. It's very reliable. We give you a 5-year warranty on that. And notice how the color inside is, I don't want to call it yellow. I almost want to call it like manila envelopes.
It's more of a classic or vintage color than a cold pop of bright color. And I think that's kind of nice too. And it's easy to read. Notice even at this distance, you can tell the time on that, which is nice. Maybe you have somebody in your world that's going to be very convenient for them too. 287664 for the Ben & Sons. You can look how good that looks with what I'm wearing.
Oh, look how good he looks.
No, the watch. The watch.
So that's the 44mm Voyager. We're going to a different Ben & Sons collection that I have on my wrist. They're very similar in design, of course, but this one I actually like a little bit more. Now, black and brown, once again, a dark brown, genuine leather strap, almost like a cognac brown, if you will. Black IP for the buckle, and then, of course, your case and bezel. But this one, I like a little bit more, and when you get in closer on the dial, you'll see why. I think it's because I like the 2-eye chronograph configuration. It is a multi-function, so you got your day of the week and your calendar date. I also like that you've got a combination here. Look, notice what they've done. Your Arabic numerals are applied to the dial, but then the stick hour markers are on an outer track ring, and then keeping that vintage look like an officer's field watch, you've got the minutes scale around that pulled out at increments of 10. Kind of cool, right? Notice
I like this one better. I really
like this
do.
one a lot too. $75 for this one, $85.99 every single day on our website. All right, so it's not like we're saving you $900 on this watch when you watch the program, but you know what happens when you tune into the program? You always get stress-free payments. That is something you don't get when you shop at WorldofWatches.com every single day of the week. So with us, we always say stress-free payments is a great option. Whether you choose to use it or not, I love them. I think it's a great way to shop. In this case, $12.50. What a handsome design. I'm just going to very quickly. The item number on the screen is for the one that's on my wrist, the 44mm Marshall. This is the 44mm Voyager Wiley just had on. I like mine just a little bit more. 287-674. Again, it's 6 payments. Every single thing is on 6 payments here. $12.50 for this item.
This next watch I have seen over and over again in department stores, jewelry stores. This is a big seller, and I'm telling you right now, it is as close to that list price as they can hold on to it, because this is diamonds on this watch.
You know what's amazing is even when you go to those big box stores, and Bulova is surprisingly sold not just at department stores, but even some like big box discounted stores, we still have lower prices than those places. We still guarantee the lower price. Like I was talking about earlier, my cousin around Christmas time sent me a photo of a Bulova watch, and she was like, "Do you like this? Could I wear this every day?" And first, she had sent me a photo of the watch in its packaging, and she was at this big box store. And I text her back, I go, "Do not buy that there. Go to our website, see if we have it." And we did. We had it. It was all encrusted with crystals. This is genuine diamonds. And it was so funny because she went to our website and she was like, "Oh my God, wow, that's great," because it was actually kind of expensive. You know, it was like $300 or something. That's a lot of money. I mean, we get jaded here when we say, "Oh, it's only $200," but we forget that a lot of people out there, I mean, $200 is a lot of money to buy a watch. Here, though, $200 is not a lot of money when you're buying a $550 diamond Bulova.
Or when we've put it down to $33.33.
Well, that's the other thing I was telling her. I was like, if you see something on the show, buy it because we can get you the payments. One of my best friends has had a Bulova watch with a mother of pearl dial, and it's not this is a multifunction, but she's had a Bulova watch with mother of pearl and a chronograph movement. She's been my best friend since we were in 9th grade. I mean, 15 years I've known her. And she has worn her Bulova watch the entire time I've known her. And I always joke with her whenever she lives in Colorado, whenever I see her, and she's always got the watch on. I'm always like, "Oh, Dana, I'm always talking about you on the show when we present Bulova watches because you wear your watch with everything." And she's like, "Yeah, I don't even take it off." I mean, she wore it to her wedding rehearsal dinner. I mean, it's one of those classic timepieces.
It really is built to last. There's no doubt about it. I do. I want to take a look at the diamonds and see how they look under there.
You've got diamond accents around the bezel. You've got 8 bezel set diamond hour markers. You've got a multi-function. The Maribor is a beautiful collection. And a lot of people know Bulova from many, many years. I mean, we've been talking on the show the past couple of weekends.
1875.
We've been talking on the show the past couple of weekends about their incredible storied history. So here is a great way to pick one up at a very easy monthly interest-free payment plan.
These are not diamond chips. Those are fully cut, fully faceted. Each one of those is in a 3-prong setting. And that really is. That's nice. I think you'll really appreciate that when you get it home.
This next Eleni, you got to go right to the wrist with this. I have not seen this before.
I haven't seen this either. I probably did a video on it.
This is the Fortitudo Duo. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was going to say when I was looking at this watch, it looks a lot like the Fortitudo, which was, of course, the best-selling Eleni watch on our show. Wears like a 50 millimeter. This 49 wears like a 50. Do you see how it's like the second coming of the Fortitudo because of the crown?
Look at that.
But can we get in close on that crystal? Because you noticed something about the last one that you can see on this one as well. The crystal features some of those hour markers.
Look at that. Oh, yes, you are right. You can see it right there. Look at the 12 o'clock position, the 3, the 6, the 9. They're floating on the back side of the crystal. They're not on the front, so don't worry about them scratching off. But you happen to have the indices, on the bezel itself, on the dial, excuse me. But then up on the crystal, you happen to have it etched in there. I think that's pretty clever. Also notice that expanded date window, which allows you to have a peek into the inner workings. And even though it's a quartz movement, notice they've done a cutaway right there in the center chapter so that you get to see a bit of the movement in there. I like that because not everybody wants to wear an automatic or a mechanical movement, but they do like a bit of a skeletonization on their watch. I think this looks great, and it's incredibly comfortable, and they've even done stitching within the silicone strap. Yeah, I'd wear this. I'd wear this with what I'm wearing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Fortitudo is always one of the best watches, and I like that this is the Fortitudo Duo.
Looks good. Looks
it does look good. It's got that same great aesthetic, and even at 50 millimeters, it curves around and fits perfectly.
Oh, there is no gapping whatsoever. Even though I don't have the largest wrist in the world, this watch is a perfect fit, and it's lightweight. It's not a heavy metal watch.
Try it out, especially for you ladies and gentlemen out there that already have the original Fortitudo or the Eleni Barocas Gladiator. I always say the Gladiator is like the fraternal twin of the Fortitudo. Try something a little different. I actually really like the idea of what they've been doing with the crystal, how you've got the numbers on the back side of that.
I like this better than the original.
Really?
I do.
Cool. All right, we're moving on. We've only got a few minutes left until we hit the recap.
Yeah, we do. Now, what do you think about this men's classic chronograph by Bulova? This is a slimline watch.
I like the modified, almost cushion-shaped case. It's one of those Bulova watches that really does look look very vintage, which is kind of interesting. This looks like the kind of timepiece that you would grow up seeing your grandfather wear, the kind of watch that you would get willed down to you because it has that classic look to it.
I love the Cote de Genève that's in the center part of the dial. As you head into the chapter rings, you've noticed that they've even accentuated them with the gold tone with the beveled inner bezels around the subdials. You'll also notice that the watch is done in a cross between a satin brushed finish and a high mirror polish. Uber slimline, so this is the perfect dress watch. Croco embossed leather strap, which you can see right there. And look how thin that watch is. And yet there's still a slight bit of curvature just so that it sits on the wrist really, really well. You have the snap down back. Of course, that is a custom strap for Bulova. And you can really see the decoration that's in there. And once again, that slight expansion at the date window at the 12 o'clock position. I also like the fact that with that subdial at the 6 o'clock, they didn't leave it exactly like the others. They did just a little pop of variety there. Let me slip this watch on. We'll show it to you real quick, and then we'll start heading into our wrap-up so we can head out and get things ready for tomorrow's show.
I want to try that on when you're done very quickly because I think I'm a big fan.
Take a look.
A few weeks ago on the show when Doron and I were spending a little time on the show together, he and I were talking about how it's very popular, as you and I speak of, to see menswear-inspired designs on ladies' wrists, and it's been around for quite some time. So, ladies, I want to try this watch on because I think, one, it's a Bulova watch. Two, it's got that vintage design. So it's something that I think a lady would very easily be able to wear and maybe pull it off with the right kind of outfit.
I agree 100%. Let me let Megan try this on so that we can get ready to head out. But I need you to see how well this looks on a lady's wrist.
Now, I have a 6-inch wrist, just to keep that in mind for perspective here. So I'm going to buckle this down to the tightest closure and see how it fits really well, actually. Because it's got that Croco embossed leather strap, it's a little stiff the first time you put it on. So it's going to take you maybe a day or two of wearing this to the office or going about your business for it to break into your wrist. But much like your favorite belt or that nice new pair of jeans, once you've got this on and it's molded to your exact anatomy, it's going to wear like it was made for you. That does actually look really well on my wrist. It fits really, really nice. No gapping, no spacing. I would wear this even. And for $35 down, how nice to be able to play around with different sizes and styles. 251-864. Let's get one more close-up here. Japanese chronograph quartz movement inside. Whenever you buy a brand from us, whether it's Bulova, Maurice, Lacroix, or Breitling, Michael Kors, anything that is not one of our parent company brands, rest assured that we always take over the manufacturer's warranty. So we always give you the exact same service, the exact same amount of time that, in this example, Bulova would if you were to pick it up from a Bulova retailer. 251-864, $35, 6 payments.
I like that watch. That is a classic look all the way around. And it's a safe watch. If you're buying it as a gift, or even if you're unsure, are other people going to like this on me? They're going to like that
really
watch
nice
on you. That looks good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the end of our time together, our last Saturday night show of 2015.
Is that right?
It's been a wild ride. We're going to jump into a little recap here and show you what the best-selling item of the night is. Well, I guess I was going to say so far, but it's the best-selling item of the night show. Now, we are out here again tomorrow night, same time, same place, with an entirely new lineup, and that will be our last show of 2015, so please definitely tune in for that.
Where did this year go?
It's crazy, right? We've got a lot of really exciting stuff planned for 2016, and so we're so glad for you guys to always be joining us, and it's really, as Wiley likes to say, it's going to get even better. All right,
promise.
The number one seller is...
Do you know?
Maybe in 2016 I'll actually get my drum roll.
We need to let Niso know that one of his creations, the 50mm Genesis Vision, is the number one seller tonight. And that may change by midnight, because remember, you have till midnight on Sunday with these prices. But, you know, these are selling really, really well. And you're going to love that offset crown. You're going to love the 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock bridge, which creates the 6. And then right through the hole in the 6, you can see the date. I think this is an incredible watch. A lot of fun and flair and watch design in a very contemporary size, and a lot of visual delight. 294532, the Eleni Barocas 50mm Genesis Vision. Right behind that, well, it's an old favorite. I can't say old. It's not really that old. but it's becoming a standard
Yeah, you
for
don't like
those
when I
folks.
say that about you.
Thanks. Oh, if I could only have heard you. Shut up, control room. They're laughing
Thank you,
now.
I'll be here all night. Tip your waitress.
The 46
Never gets
millimeter Avisos automatic. Oh my goodness. This watch has 1,000 meters of water resistance. I love that pop of yellow on there. It really does speak to the nautical flair of the watch and the serious dive instrument that it is. You're going to love the 3-slot watch box that comes with it. It's waterproof, so it's great for this watch and a few of its friends. 274653, the Avisos.
Well, as always, the Swiss Legend Eograph is a bestseller. This is one of those great practical watches, gentlemen. 46 millimeter case, but keep in mind it's a slimmer line design. So you can wear a bigger watch, but it's still classic enough to wear to the office. All 316L surgical grade steel. You have a Swiss-made ISA 8172. Day-date quartz chronograph movement, $79.99, 80152.
And now, speaking of incredibly good taste and those seeking great value, how about the Maurice Lacroix 48mm Masterpiece Collection 5-hand, right from that center pin, 5 hands, telling you everything you need to know. The hour, the minute, continuously operating sweep hand, a day and date complication, all from that center spindle. You also have had a beautiful bracelet on that watch, and of course that's the ML159 automatic movement by Maurice Lacroix. So much value in this Masterpiece Collection watch at 70% off. $183.33 gets it home. It's only $1,100.
Hot on your heels is my hot pick, 290435. Diamonds and sapphire, ceramic, 200 meters of water resistance. It's like you don't expect to hear 200 meters of water resistance when you hear
With diamonds.
diamonds and sapphire and ceramic. And yet, with Technomarine, that is what you get in this stunning Swiss-made watch. Take advantage, please, while it's under $100 a month interest-free. This is a $2,400 priced watch. We've got it at $550 for the weekend. Tomorrow night, it goes up nearly $1,000. 290435.
Between this watch and the next, it's like Kardashian night.
Right behind that, 34 millimeter Technomarine here. Mother of pearl dial, elegantly appointed numerals on there. Another 200 meter diver. This one has crystals set to look like diamonds all the way around the bezel. 6 payments of $41.66. 238666.
Folks, we have incredible values this weekend, so don't let for a moment any of these values get away, such as the Momo Design